44%. Chapter 221 The Terrifying Power of the Y-1130 Close in Anti-Aircraft Gun. 600 top-quality Sea Beast Teeth. At the moment when the rockets densely packed like fireflies landed on the Black Turtle, the endless flames continued to explode. For a time, the dark polar night was illuminated into day. The dense -84 scarlet damage floated up from the top of the Black Turtle. Just such a wave of attacks. Xuangui's blood volume decreased by 8,400. Then followed by 4 flying fish-type missiles soaring into the sky. The mythical Y-15 anti-ship missile struck at the Black Turtle's unprotected mouth at subsonic speed while maintaining a low-altitude skimming momentum. Immediately, 4 scarlet injuries with a blood volume of nearly 3,000 floated up from the top of Xuangui's head very clearly. Watching this scene, Li Yao, who just opened her mouth to persuade Qin Tian to retreat, immediately swallowed back the words that came to her mouth. Fear. The firepower of this battleship is too terrifying. It turns out that those naval guns are all 383 is an illusion. The real big killers are the ladder rocket launchers and anti-ship missiles. Is your captain taking the guided missile cruiser route? Just 10 or 20 seconds of effort. The Black Turtle that easily crushed their battleship Kanglan lost more than 20,000 blood. You must know that their Kanglan battleship can destroy at most a few thousand blood of the Black Turtle in each round of attack. Tens of thousands less damage than this heavy cruiser. This gap is a bit too big. Roar. And at this time, Zhongui, who suffered such an attack, was also awakened from a deep sleep. In pain, it raised its head to the sky and let out a dull growl. Then he opened those scarlet bloodthirsty eyes. He fiercely stared at the heavy cruiser several kilometers away. For a moment, the red blood streaks on the turtle shell on its back seemed to come alive, flashing an incomparably dazzling light. Captain, be careful, this Black Turtle can breathe fire from a long distance, and our warship was sunk by it. Fire. 7 or 8 gulps. Hear Li Yao's words. Looking at the Black Turtle's back that is getting brighter and brighter, it is obvious that it wants to enlarge the bloody lines of the move. Qin Tian's heart couldn't help but lift up. I don't know how many attacks my warship's defense can withstand for me. He just finished thinking about it. On the opposite side, elite Black Tortoise King's head, which was a few laps larger than a heavy truck, stretched towards him. Then he opened his mouth and spewed out a scorching flame. The flame lasted for more than 10 seconds. Even the air outside was distorted and deformed by the scorching flames. Qin Tian couldn't help feeling a little worried. Look at the temperature. It seems that the damage is not low. Think like this. Wait until the other party finishes spitting flames. Qin Tian immediately opened the attribute panel of the battleship with a thought. His eyes were fixed on the column of blood volume. 38,688 40,850ths. Just such a mouthful of flame. He actually burned more than 2,100 blood of his heavy cruiser. And this is the damage of his defense at 1,300. This damage is really not low. No wonder they can sink their battleships in 7 or 8 mouths. According to such an injury law, even his heavy cruiser, this elite Black Tortoise King, was sprayed with 18 or 19 flame attacks. It can almost give the blood volume of his battleship to the empty tube. Fortunately, Li Yao didn't know what Qin Tian was thinking. If only I knew. Afraid that he would have to cover his face speechlessly on the spot. Boom, boom, boom. The artillery fire continued to roar. The elite Black Tortoise King also seemed to be aware of the reality that his flame attack did not cause much damage to the opponent. So the other party actually pulled its strong and powerful sea limbs and swam towards his battleship. The huge waves suddenly began to rise and fall one after another. Even the battleship with him was ups and downs. Qin Tian saw this and immediately said, "Achin, keep a distance of 3 kilometers from the other party." What? Hear this. Li Yao was first startled and her heart beat wildly. But after seeing Qin Tian's confident appearance, then think about what the other party did just now. For a while, she resisted the urge to speak and watched quietly. I want to see what else the other party has to do with the bottom line. And Qin Tian did not disappoint her. After hearing Wei Chen's report that elite Black Tortoise King had entered within the range of 3,000 meters, Qin Tian immediately asked Yao Lang and Ma Fei to activate the mythical Y-1130 near defense cannon. And Yao Lang also locked the head of elite Black Turtle King as the target of attack. When the head of the King of Turtles was scanned, swinging back and forth in midair, the mythical Y-1130 close-in anti-aircraft guns radar and photoelectric combination capabilities are instantly activated at the same time. Then the barrels of the 20Y1130 close and anti-aircraft guns started to fire wildly like Gatling. Although the sea is very choppy. But I can't stand the large number of barrels and the ferocity of the bullets. In addition, the Y1130 near anti-cannon fires tail-stabilized shell-piercing shells. Comes with armor-piercing function. So even if the original attack value of 350 to 550 is weakened by more than half, that also has an attack value of 100 to 150. And these 20Y1130 close-in defense guns are all super killers that can fire 10,000 rounds of bullets per minute. So it's just a few tens of seconds of effort. Li Yao and the newcomer crew were stunned. Elite Black Turtle King, the blood volume above his head began to drop like a cliff. Before they could react, there was only a trace of blood left in the blood vessels on the top of the head. And this is still too much ups and downs for the battleship. Under the premise of poor accuracy. Otherwise time would be faster and earlier than this. Achin, drive the battleship over there. Alang, kill him for me. After issuing these two commands, Qin Tian immediately pushed open the door of the control room and walked towards the bow of the ship. When he came to the bow, I saw Elite Zon Turtle King drooping its head and starting to sink slowly. How could its blood volume be able to withstand the violent strafing of the Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun? When the battleship is close to the opponent's body, the inquiry of Planet Will 1.8 rang. I found the body of the Elite Black Turtle King, do you want to collect it? Of course, Qin Tian chose, yes. Without any hesitation. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 5,000 units of the best Black Turtle King meat. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 600 top-quality sea beast teeth. After seeing a large pile of top-quality sea beast teeth and piles of fresh and tender Black Turtle King meat appearing on the deck, Qin Tian immediately greeted Yu Dai and the others. Old Yu, ask someone to come and move the meat down. And he himself took out the epic level MK73-203mm naval gun blueprint from his body. He came directly to the orange double 57mm naval gun. 3 times, 5 times and 2 times removed this orange quality dual 57mm naval gun. With a thought, he used the divine detective technique to open the attribute panel of the epic level MK73-203mm naval gun blueprint in his hand. 44%. Chapter 222 Tang Ming, a special talent with batch synthesis talent. It's just that when Qin Tian used the divine detective technique to open the attribute panel of the epic MK73-203mm naval gun blueprint in his hand. After seeing advanced requires 5,000 high-quality plastics, 5,000 high-quality metal sheets, 3,000 high-quality nails, and 200 top-quality sea animal teeth. He seemed to think of something suddenly. Then quickly opened the data backpack. Take a look at the excellent materials you currently have in your hands. Fine wood, 642. Fine sheet metal, 3,938. Fine plastic, 7,307. Qin Tian felt a little depressed immediately. The large cruiser was upgraded, and the ammunition bays of the various battleships were replenished yesterday. For a while, all the good materials in his hand were almost consumed. And his tens of millions of materials are still not extracted in the background of the trading market. So there is no way. He had no choice but to go to the warehouse again, and Curry continued to synthesize in a bitter ha-ha. While thinking, he walked towards the side door in the direction of the shipbuilding. And at this moment, Li Yao also came out of the control room. Seeing Qin Tian's expressionless expression. Oh 6. Li Yao immediately asked curiously. Captain, we obviously won the battle, why do you look unhappy with your expression? Qin Tian shook his head and said, it's not that I'm unhappy, but I have to go to the warehouse to synthesize the curry materials again. Every time the Emperor's materials are synthesized, a lot of time will be wasted. Finished. He also let out a very depressed sigh. Ah, synthetic materials. Captain, would you like to ask Tang Ming to help you? He seems to be a special logistics talent with the ability to synthesize in batches. On our Kanglin, he is in charge of logistics materials. Li Yao looked at Qin Tian and said seriously. But these words made Qin Tian's eyes light up immediately. What? Is there such a talent? Can it be synthesized in batches? Quick, Captain Li, help me find him quickly, I want to meet this man. Qin Tian said with a look of surprise. Lie on. If I have such a special talent under my hands, then you will be free. No wonder the will of the world doesn't provide God's chosen with the common ability of batch synthesis. It turned out that Ray was buried here. It seems that we still need to search and rescue more crew members. And hear his words. Li Yao nodded to Qin Tian and said, "Okay, Captain, just now I just saw him follow Uncle Yu to the bow to move the meat of the King of Turtles, then we will wait for him for a while." Li Yao said to Qin Tian. Qin Tian calmed down upon hearing this, nodding and no longer in a hurry. Anyway, the other party has already boarded his boat and joined his team, so how can he be afraid that the other party will run away? By the way, Captain, the ones lined up on both sides of the battleship are close in defense guns, right? At this time, Li Yao still couldn't hold back and asked Qin Tian the curiosity in her heart. "Captain, what kind of near-defense gun is that? Why is it so powerful? The blood bar of Zon Turtle King has changed from so long to so short. I have never seen such a powerful near-defense gun since I grew up so big. Where's the gun?" Talking, she also stretched out her two slender and fair index fingers to stroke from 20 centimeters to 1 centimeter in one fell swoop. Watch this gesture, coupled with the other party's exquisite and three-dimensional perfect facial features. Qin Tian couldn't help but cleared his throat, relieved his embarrassment and said, "That is a mythical Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun, which can fire 10,000 rounds of armor-piercing bullets in a minute, but these big killers are powerful, but the consumption of materials is beyond your imagination. In just 1 minute or so just now, it was equivalent to producing 20,000 fine metal pieces." Hiss. Hear this. All the people in the live broadcast room who were still immersed in the shock suddenly couldn't help but gasped. I go. 20 close-in anti-aircraft guns shoot out 20,000 units of high-quality metal pieces in 1 minute. On average, wouldn't it be that each close-in defense gun needs to consume 1,000 units of high-quality metal pieces in 1 minute? You know it's metal sheet material. And it's still excellent. It takes so much in 1 minute. It is estimated that only Qin Tian, whose supplies alone can be compared to all the supplies of a big force, can afford it, right? Like a normal chosen one. Even with this near anti-cannon installed. It is estimated that only 1 or 2 seats can be used for a few minutes. 20 mythical Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft guns like this are used to fire for a minute. That's unbelievable. This thing is simply a super gold-swallowing beast. "Ha, Captain, Tang Ming is here." And at this moment, Li Yao said suddenly. Qin Tian heard the words and looked. "I saw a dark-skinned young man who was about 30 years old walking steadily towards this side with a pile of black turtle king meat in his arms." "Captain, Team Li, it's getting closer." When Tang Ming came to the two of them, he immediately held his head high and shouted loudly. Seeing this, Qin Tian smiled and nodded. He thought that the other party was in charge of the warehouse on the Kanglan. He will be the kind of literary and white-faced scholar. But I didn't expect it to be such a capable look. Immediately the first feeling in my heart is very good. Tang Ming, I remember that you are born with an ability of batch synthesis, right? Li Yao asked Tang Ming from the side. After the latter was stunned for a moment, he finally came to his senses, nodded and said with a sense of loss, "Well, it's a batch synthesis, but what's the use? Apart from synthesizing materials, I can't do anything at ordinary times, let alone use it for battle." Qin Tian immediately became numb when he heard this. But you can understand it if you think about it. 907 is on this magnificent and dangerous sea. Crew members with combat talents tend to receive more attention and attention. After all, for many captains of average strength, being able to win the battle is the most important thing. As for synthetics, inferior materials cannot be collected all day long. Not to mention synthesis. So it's no wonder that Tang Ming would be so dismissive of his talent. Because on those warships with average strength, his talent is really useless. After a long time, it will naturally be regarded as a waste. But it's different here. This is definitely the best candidate for my own warehouse manager. Think here. Qin Tian immediately said to him. Perhaps you used to think that your talent was useless, but now that I'm here, I can tell you very clearly that your talent is undoubtedly a super important skill for me. Quote. I saw Ma Yongganian coming out of the side door empty-handed. Qin Tian immediately called the other party over. Said, Old Ma, you pick up the pile of meat in his hand, and I will take him to the warehouse to synthesize the materials. Oh, good Captain. Ma Yongganian didn't say much, just came over and took a pile of meat from Tang Ming's hand. Already, let's go, let me see how much you can combine in batches. With that said, Qin Tian led Tang Ming and Li Yao to the warehouse full of expectations. 44%. Chapter 223 The Terrifying Genesis Class Mk-73-203M Naval Gun. Batch synthesis. Behind, Ma Yongganian's eyes lit up when he heard Qin Tian's words. Of course he knew that his captain had previously upgraded the battleship. Every time a synthetic material is drilled into the warehouse, curry is combined from morning to night. If there is really a person who can synthesize in batches to help the captain, that's a good thing for everyone on board. At this moment, Qin Tian led the two of them to the warehouse curry. As soon as the door is opened, seeing that there were still a small half of the supplies in the warehouse that had been expanded a lot, curry seemed a lot sparser. Li Yao, who walked in behind, was speechless after seeing curry's scattered supplies in the extremely empty warehouse. Sir Captain, what kind of honey operation are you doing? The front foot also told others how much they valued their talents. As a result, Tang Ming looked at the empty warehouse as soon as his back foot came in. Isn't this fooling people? She thought so. Out of the corner of his eye, he subconsciously looked at Tang Ming beside him. Sure enough, he saw the expression of anger and humiliation on the other party's face. This made Li Yao's heart sink immediately. What she was most worried about still happened. But before she could say anything, seeing Qin Tian reaching out his hand to stop their footsteps without looking back, he said, "Don't go any further, it should be enough for such a big place." Talking, seeing that Qin Tian didn't move at all. Then in front of them, countless materials appeared out of thin air with a crash. There was even a large pile of materials in the front row that were not stabilized because they were piled too high. With a crash, clatter, it slid forward several meters. If it wasn't for Qin Tian blocking their footsteps, if they go any further, they will definitely be crushed by this pile of supplies. As for Tang Ming, who just felt like he was being tricked. At this moment, that kind of thought is completely gone. The mouth is wide enough to accommodate the next fist. His eyes almost turned into copper bells. My God! How much material is this? Such a large warehouse is filled in an instant, so there must be millions of object maps, right? I saw Qin Tian turned his head and said to him, "In the future, I will leave the matter of synthesizing materials to you. Generally, our warships use more high-quality materials most of the time, so you need to make 90% of these materials 9 synthetic high-quality materials." Hearing Qin Tian's words, after regaining his composure, Tang Ming immediately nodded solemnly and said, "Please rest assured, Captain, I will definitely complete the task." Talking, he then used his innate skills to start synthesizing materials. Compared to Qin Tian's efficiency of only 2 at a time, Tang Ming is a combination of 100 and 100. That is, consuming 100 low-quality metal pieces can directly produce 25 high-quality metal pieces. Although at first glance it sounds like a few stars is not much. But you must know that this is a one-time efficiency. 25 at a time. About 30 times a minute. Almost 750. This was much quicker than Qin Tian's painful one-by-one reconciliation. Qin Tian subconsciously used detective technique to scan the opponent's attributes. Name: Tang Ming. Speciality: logistics. Characteristics: naturally capable of hundreds of batch synthesis. Talent: grade B. Loyalty: 95. Introduction: in charge of the logistics of the Kanglan battleship, born with the ability of batch synthesis, but it has never been developed and used. Qin Tian looked at the loyalty and profile as high as 95. Immediately nodded in satisfaction. Immediately, he took Li Yao out of the warehouse. "Captain Li, thank you so much. If you hadn't recommended talents to me, I wouldn't have known that your team still has such a great talent." After Qin Tian came out, he said to Li Yao with a smile, "Captain, you are too polite. It is estimated that you are the only one who can let Tang Ming make the best use of his talents. This is a good thing for him and our fleet." Li Yao replied with a smile when she heard Qin Tian's words. "Haha, now I don't have to spend all day in the warehouse currying synthetic materials." Qin Tian was happy when he thought of this matter. The two came to the deck together. Qin Tian came back to the high platform where he removed the orange double 57mm naval guns. Then he took out the epic MK-73-203mm naval gun drawing again. With Tang Ming in the warehouse, Curry continued to synthesize materials. After the blueprint advanced, the font of advanced appeared soon. Seeing this, Qin Tian didn't talk nonsense, and immediately chose to advance. Manufacturing the Genesis-class MK-73-203M large-caliber naval gun requires 5,000 fine plastics, 5,000 fine metal sheets, 3,000 fine nails, and 200 premium sea beast teeth. Do you want to manufacture them? Manufacture. Qin Tian said with bright eyes. This is the first Genesis-class large-caliber naval gun on his battleship. Qin Tian really wants to know how strong the performance data of this naval gun is. With the disappearance of drawings, a pure white single-barreled large naval gun appeared on the platform. With a thought, Qin Tian used divine detective technique to investigate. Item: Genesis class Mk-73-203M naval gun. Quality: colorful. Ix: 3158. Effective range: 32,000 meters. Durability: 10,000. Effective rate of fire: 12 rounds per minute. Requirement: every 2,000 units of high-quality metal pieces consumed can be fired for 1 minute. Sharp. When seeing that 3158 attack, the corners of Qin Tian's mouth couldn't help but twitched high. I thought, it is worthy of being a Genesis-class large-caliber naval gun. The damage of more than 3,100 of this cannon is awesome. 12 shots a minute. If all hit, then he can deal nearly 38,000 damage with just this naval gun in 1 minute. It can be said to be very powerful. Throw the orange twin 57mm naval guns into the hold curry. Qin Tian brought Li Yao back to the control room. Noon. Yu Dai sent people up to call everyone to go down for dinner. Li Jiaohao. Lunch is the best black turtle king meat that has just been hunted. Compared to the mosasaur king meat they had been eating before, the meat quality of this top-grade black turtle king meat is even more delicious and juicy. After the grill comes out, the tangy fragrance can really make the children next door cry. When everyone picked up the fried steak and put it in their mouths for the first bite, everyone's eyes lit up immediately. The taste of this food is beyond the scope of words. During lunch, no one spoke. Everyone is concentrating on eliminating the steaks on their plates. After eating, go to the kitchen to find Yu Dai and get another piece. Get another piece after eating. According to Qin Tian's observation, including Rui and Li Yao, everyone ate at least 3 pieces of fried black turtle king meat steak. And the warm current from eating squid king meat before has reappeared. Yin Yin began to strengthen their bodies again. 44%. Chapter 224. I thought I was concerned about the country and the people, but in the end I wanted to make money. Aware of this situation, Qin Tian immediately called Wei Chen and Ma Fei over and asked them if they felt strengthened. The result was the same answer as him. They also felt the burning heat in their bodies. Qin Tian asked Rui and Li Yao again. They also all gave the same answer. Only Ting Rui said, normally, although you group these elite king level sea beasts into the same level, there is no doubt that the strength gap between them is quite huge. Because the degree of evolution is different, the energy-rich meat nutrition is naturally different. If you, Captain, can rush into the starry sky to hunt down those starry sky behemoths that roam freely in the starry sky in the future, then their flesh quality will strengthen your body even more terrifyingly, and some of them can even prolong your life. And in the live broadcast room, many people who also heard these words were immediately surprised. What do you mean? Listening to the conversation between Godchin and his subordinates, eating the meat of sea beasts can strengthen the body. Strengthening the physical body is the next thing. I want to know whether prolonging life is true or not. Since the island has the ability to bring the things inside out to reality, does that mean that us blue star people can also live longer after eating these meats? Age. Hee, do you guys know? I didn't dare to say it before, but judging by the rhythm, Godchin seems to be planning to break 933's secret, so let me tell you. Actually, as early as 2 years ago, a powerful God's Chosen discovered this secret, and began to bring out the king-level beast meat to secretly feed those old and frail people. 1. Hiss. The one above asked you to say this, and I suddenly remembered that last year it was reported that Heng Kong's old Dong was admitted to intensive care because of a heart problem, but it didn't take long for him to be alive and well, and a 10-year-old man appeared in the eyes of the public. It seems that it is because of eating this kind of king-level beast meat. Hey, don't think about it, everyone. The news is obviously that the major capitals were blocking it before. Everyone knows what the purpose is. Now, even if Qin Shen has exposed the inside story, those who can afford this kind of meat are still those rich people, so don't let us poor people get whimsical. There was a heated discussion in the live broadcast room. At this moment, the rich capitalists of various countries have become ants on the hot pot. They all pointed their finger at Qin Tian and the Yanlong Empire behind Qin Tian. Yanlong Empire, what does your Qin Tian mean? Is he trying to challenge all the capitalists in the world? Has he AGFJ considered the consequences of announcing the news of king-level beast meat? Yanlong Empire, you better give us an explanation, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. More than a dozen capitalist families united with the G side of their own country to directly put pressure on the Yanlong Empire. Just for these calls. The Yanlong Empire has only one sentence. I have seen that you are not pleasing to the eye. If you have the ability, just come and fight. It can be said that the Yanlong Empire did not persuade them at all. Not to mention the military strength of the Yanlong Empire and the power of the gods. Just the army of alien creatures besieging them around them is enough to make other countries dare not act rashly. And it is true. The countries are impotent and furious. An angry reprimand disappeared after a while. But they finally decided to take their idea to Qintian in World of Warships. And it's not waiting for the big capital families of various countries to block the news of Team G. The news about the king-level beast meat quickly spread in the World of Warships. For a while, it also caused an uproar in the World of Warships. But at this moment Qintian doesn't know this yet. After hearing Rui's words, facing the sea of stars and the sea of stars in his heart, he couldn't help feeling a little yearning. A star beast that can travel among the stars. All kinds of powerful interstellar warships. All these deeply attracted Qintian. Dee. But at this moment, suddenly, a private message notification sounded in his mind. Open it and have a look. I saw Zhang Zongjun sending him a message. Xiao Qin, what are you going to do now? Why did you reveal the secret of king-level sea beast meat to the public? Several countries in this world put pressure on our Yanlong Empire just now, wanting our country to give them an explanation, but the imperial military forcefully blocked it back, but I guess they will trouble you next time. Look at Zhang Zongjun's words. Qintian directly replied indifferently. It's okay, let them come. As for why I want to disclose the secret of king-level beast meat, it's because I feel that our time is running out. Didn't I search and rescue a crew member from the previous era some time ago? He participated in the war against the invasion of the three major cosmic civilizations, Zur, Novi, and Ryan. Using his words, if we don't have more than 1,000 aircraft carriers and more than 10,000 battleships, we will hardly be opponents of the Zerere people. So I thought about it, and decided that we will not engage in any blockade with those guys from the Eurasian Federation, at least let those ordinary God-chosen know something, so that they can fight for their own destiny, instead of being like a captive like pigs and sheep, they can only wait to be slaughtered at the last moment. See these words of Qintian. Zhang Zongjun couldn't help feeling a tinge of sincere admiration for Qintian. Look, otherwise, people can become stronger. With such a feeling of worrying about the country and the people, Yingxin is naturally extremely powerful. Think here, he asked immediately. What are you going to do, Xiaoqin? Qintian replied with a raised corner of his mouth. I got 5,000 units of king-level sea beast meat with super powerful effects today. I am going to the auction house to conduct a wave of auctions. How about General Zhang? Do you need it? 1,000 units. After Zhang Zongjun saw this sentence, he almost spit out all the water he just drank in his mouth. This kid, it really is. Dumbfounded, he didn't know what to say. I thought the other party was concerned about the country and the people. It turned out that after a long time, this kid wanted to maximize his own profit from selling king-level beast meat. Unfortunately, he thought that it can only be said that they deserve to be piled up with materials in their hands. The upgrade speed is flying fast. Just this mind and the ability to make money above board. Even if he was asked to pick, he couldn't find any faults. For the general public's right to know, the secret of the king-level sea beast meat is disclosed to the public first, so that the general public can know the horror of the Zerere civilization invasion and the value of the king-level sea beast meat. Then there will be a wave of auctions of king-level sea beast meat. This top-level operation is simply invincible. Get FKED like this. The chances of those wealthy families who want to obtain king-level sea beast meat at a low price in the future will become extremely slim. So now there is such an opportunity to hoard high-quality king-level sea beast meat in large quantities. The major capitalist families will definitely not miss it. 45%. Chapter 225 Auction of king-level sea beast meat. And the most important point. There is this public vaccination that works. It also completely eliminated the opportunity for those big capitalists to unite and cheat him at a low price. The low-end price is stared at by ordinary good picks and those powerful retail good picks. Mid-range prices are under the pressure of middle and high-end forces. Therefore, only high-end prices are left for those wealthy families to choose from. It has to be said that this kid has thought of all the situations. It is clear that it is to earn money from those big capitalists. Think clearly about these. Zhang Zongjun suddenly asked with a heartbeat. Are you planning to break through the battleship? That's why you have to do this. Haha, I really can't hide anything from General Zhang. That's right, I'm indeed about to break through the battleship, but I'm still short of 3/10 of the supplies. See here. A look of surprise appeared on Zhang Zongjun's face. IFK. 3 months or so to upgrade to a battleship. What exactly is this kid's talent? I feel like this is simply too strong. He shook his head with a wry smile. He sent a message to ask. You kid is really a monster. Tell me, what do you mean by super powerful effect? Qin Tian replied directly. It is those of us who have eaten king-level beast meat before and have strengthened once. After eating this batch of king-level sea beast meat, all of us will have the effect of strengthening for the second time. Hiss. When seeing this message, Zhang Zongjun's eyes widened immediately. He immediately sent a message and sent a message. Xiao Qin, we want it. This must be done. In this way, you leave me 1,500 units, and after you auction the transaction to me, I will give you whatever price you auction, and I will never let you suffer. What else could Qin Tian say when he saw this? I could only reply, okay, thank you General. And just when he was about to close the private chat interface. But I saw another message from the other party. Your boy has brought up the whole topic now, and now the world chat channel is talking about this matter. Qin Tian's heart moved when he saw this. After replying, I'll go and see. Then close the private chat interface. Open the world chat channel. I saw that the king-level sea beast meat in it can not only strengthen the body of the chosen one. The news that taking it out can extend the life of the dying person for another year has become the hottest topic in the chat channel. I always thought that the sea beast bosses that I occasionally see on the sea are the same. After a long time, it turns out that the king-level sea beast boss has such a heaven-defying effect. 1. I seem to have heard this kind of thing vaguely mentioned once before, but the other party said that the big capitals of various countries and the G side have strict control over this issue, and implemented a strict blockade. Qin Tian was stabbed out. Bosses, who of you has king-level sea beast meat? I will buy a unit. My friend told me that my mother's radiation sickness has become more and more serious in the past 2 days. I want to buy a unit to go back and save my mother. Please ask me, which bosses do you fight for this kind of king-level beast meat? You have to fight elite king-level sea beasts. You can only get teeth from ordinary king-level sea beasts. 800 units of low-quality metal pieces to buy king-level sea beast meat, and sell them in private chat. Come on, how dare you get 800 units? Back then, our forces had more than 100 gunboats, more than 50 frigates, and 3 destroyers, all of whom sacrificed more than 30 gunboats and more than a dozen ships for the sake of fighting king-class sea beasts. Frigates, let alone elite king-class sea beasts, if you want to get one, you'll need at least 12 kings and 100 inferior metal pieces. Looking at the world chat channel, they are all talking about king-level sea beast meat. Qin Tian was not in a hurry to deal with the auction either. Let the news ferment first. He will start the auction again after the heat has completely picked up. That's all. The day passed quickly, just as Qin Tian expected. The turmoil of king-level sea beast meat has not disappeared with the passage of time. On the contrary, it intensified. Many forces even saw a huge market for this kind of king-level sea beast meat. Organize a fleet all over the world and start searching for the elite sea beast king. It's just that 9 out of 10 of the ones they searched for were deep-sea elite sea beast kings. 0. Seeking flowers. The strength far exceeds that of ordinary elite sea beast kings. In this case, fleet forces continued to receive bad news. The fleet they sent out was not wiped out by the whole army. It's just that they were beaten to pieces by those sea beast kings, and there was no formation at all. To the last stats, those fleets almost didn't cry. What results did not harvest to do not say. So many casualties. This is simply killing them. After knowing this situation, Qin Tian understood that the timing should be about the same. He released the secret of king-level sea beast meat in order to be the first person to eat its crab. Instead of making wedding dresses for others. So at 11:45 at noon, Qin Tian directly opened an auction room in the trading market. Then he hung up 2,500 units of the best black turtle king meat, 300 units of the best mosasaur meat, and 200 units of the best squid king meat. After finishing these, he shouted directly in the world chat channel. Qin Tian at everyone. I accidentally killed an elite black turtle king, got some king-level sea beast meat, and found that it seemed that I couldn't finish it, so I opened the auction hall number 001 in the trading market. If you are interested, you can check it out in 10 minutes. And as soon as his message was sent out, the entire world chat channel suddenly boiled up. FK, God Chin is going to auction king level beast meat. Chin God is mighty. No one else can organize a fleet to defeat those elite sea beast kings, but Chin God accidentally killed the boss. Oh, Xie Te, why is this Yanlong warship so powerful? How did he do it? Baga, we also found an elite sea beast king, and we were hunting it, but we didn't expect to be taken a step ahead by this Qin Tian. Yarman at Qin Tian. Hello, Yanlong people, please trade me a piece of king-level sea beast meat. I urgently need this kind of meat to save my mother. Look at these chats. The corner of Qin Tian's mouth twitched slightly, and then he directly closed the chat interface. The next step is to see how many of these people are willing to go to the auction in the auction house. Ding. 45%. Chapter 226 Shocked. The auction of materials with a total price of 20 million units. After the time came to 12 o'clock. Auction Hall 001 is officially opened. Countless gods chosen are willing to buy or not. Anyway, they all rushed in like a swarm. When Qin Tian opened the interface of the auction hall to watch, he was shocked to find that the number of people inside had exceeded 1 million. And it is still rising at a crazy speed. Quite a few guys. It seems that the popularity of this king-level beast meat has really been stirred up. I hope that in this wave of auctions, these people will all be a little crazy. Make a wave of contributions for him by breaking through battleships. And in the hall of the auction room. At this time, countless gods chosen looked at the 3 types of sea beast meat in the list and were amazed. Is this the king-level sea beast meat with enhanced abilities? It doesn't seem to be anything special. What else do you want to be special about? 540. It is enough to add a king meat to the name. Fake. This Qin Tian doesn't seem to have a good heart. It looks like he knew the secret of king-level sea beast meat a long time ago. But now he is willing to stand up and announce it. Hey, if you don't understand the 250 above, don't talk nonsense. I didn't say that God Qin was single and weak. The strength level of the battleships alone has not improved, so it's normal to be a little apprehensive. 1. But I got the news that God Qin has just announced the secret of king-level meat to the live broadcast room. In this world, there are a large number of capitalists and their country's G-side to condemn and put pressure on the Yanlong Empire. If this is made public sooner, I guess you have already been chased and killed by your rich capitalists all over the world. Oh, Xie Te, it really is those damn big capitals again. I have always been annoyed by those big capitalists. For their own benefit, they are willing to gamble with the fate of all of us. I wonder if they don't know, is it a simple truth that there are no eggs under the nest? While chatting in the chat channel of the auction house, the auction entered a 3-minute countdown to prepare. The starting price of 2,500 units of top-quality black turtle king meat, 300 units of top-quality mosasaur meat, and 200 units of top-quality squid king meat is also displayed above. Among them, the list of 2,000 top-quality black turtle king meat can only be traded with low-quality metal pieces. There is no limit to the remaining 500 top-quality black turtle king meat, 300 top-quality mosasaur king meat, and 200 top-quality cuttlefish king meat lists, which can be traded with any materials such as low-quality wood, low-quality plastic, and low-quality metal pieces. Transaction starting price: 1,500 units of bad wood. Low-quality plastic 1,500 units. 1,200 units of inferior metal sheet. Each price increase shall not be less than 100 units. Look at the starting price. Everyone was stunned. Not too much, but it is too little. Many of them were already prepared in their hearts to get thousands of units of supplies from him to grab this king-level sea beast meat to taste. Even if you don't eat it yourself. At that time, it should be possible to resell it to those rich capitalists. The reason why they are so arrogant. It is entirely because of the magical change of the will of the planet during this period that the material barrels have increased a lot. This also makes people have a lot more disposable materials in their hands. So look at the starting price. All the millions of gods chosen had their eyes wide open for a moment. Going to fight. And with the lessons learned from the Lauder family last time. This time, none of the big capitalists will try to seize those auction items at low prices. Because they know it's useless to even say it. Yanlong Navy will not let them succeed. So when 3, 2, 1 official auction countdown ends. The quantity of the 3 kinds of materials behind the 3,000 pieces of king-level sea beast meat immediately began to skyrocket at an astonishing speed. Wood and plastic broke through the 3,000 unit mark in almost a few breaths, and the growth rate did not slow down at all. And the sheet metal is a bit slower though. But it reached 2,000 units in a few seconds. The same momentum. Let alone someone else in such a crazy and fiery situation. Even Qin Tian himself was shocked. He originally thought that 2056 for wood and plastic would be about the same. He is very satisfied if the metal sheet can rise to 2,000. But who would have thought it would be so crazy? This guy won't drive himself more than 10,000 units, will he? Right under Qin Tian's fixed gaze. 5 minutes later. Wood and plastic broke through to 7,000 units. Most of the top-grade mysterious Turtle King meat that was traded for metal pieces also reached the price of 5,000 low-quality metal pieces. Until this time, the speed of material growth began to slow down. Wait until the 10-minute auction time is over. The 1,000 units of king-level meat, wood and plastic have all exceeded 8,000 units. Especially the 500 units of Zongui king meat. All of them exceeded 9,000 units. Some even reached the 10,000 unit mark. Many people thought that since Qin Tian was willing to sell 2,000 units of Zongui king meat at a fixed price of metal plates, it must be that the quality of the Shuangguiwang meat is better. So under this understanding, there are many more people who use wood and plastic to compete for these Black Turtle King meat. As for the 2,000 unit price of the mysterious Turtle King meat, which was sold in metal sheets, all of them reached the bidding price of more than 6,000 units. Look at the auction price. Qin Tian said that he was completely numb. This is much more than he expected the transaction price to be. What is getting rich? This is getting rich overnight. 2,000 units of Shuangui king meat are sold for more than 5,000 pieces of low-quality metal pieces per unit. What is this concept? Selling 2,000 units of Zongui king meat directly earned more than 12 million units of low-quality metal pieces. And the 1,000 units of king meat sold a total of more than 5 million units of low-quality wood and more than 4 million units of low-quality plastic. Think here. Qin Tian's heart suddenly moved. Couldn't I have opened a breakthrough for those upper-middle-class forces to grow rapidly? Now because it is the time period of polar night climate. 2.7 Most of the elite king-level sea beasts that appear on the sea are all in the deep sea. The combat power is naturally much stronger than ordinary ones. This is if the climate returns to normal. Follow this momentum. It's no problem for those upper-middle-class forces to join forces to hunt down an elite king-level sea beast. At that time, there will be another wave of auctions like this. I am afraid that a large number of not weak backbone forces will be raised soon. He shook his head and put these irrelevant thoughts behind him. With a thought, Qin Tian focused his gaze on the trading background. There is this batch of sky-high prices in the account. He must have enough resources to break through the battleship. At that time, add the supplies ordered by Zhang Zongjun. He is afraid that he can directly upgrade the battleship to a medium or even a large one. 45%. Chapter 227 Extract a huge amount of supplies to prepare for the upgrade of the battleship. Then this next time. It seems that they are just waiting for Tang Ming to synthesize all the materials in the warehouse curry. At that time, I will take out the auction materials in the background of the trading market and let the kid spend another day or two to continue to synthesize them. Then he will be able to carry out the breakthrough of the battleship immediately. Plan these out. Qin Tian glanced at the excitement in the auction chat channel. Oh, shit, which bastard topped my 10,300 units of wood in the end, isn't it too dark? Oh, cool, I actually photographed a unit of Black Turtle King meat and a unit of Moss Dragon King meat, this luck is really great. FK, you didn't even grab a hair, and your price increase is too crazy. 9,500 units of low-quality plastic or wood to buy a unit of Black Turtle King meat, and sell it in private chat. Qin Shen, there are too few of you on the shelves, not enough at all. I saw that many people who didn't buy it were still begging for purchase. Qin Tian shook his head and closed the interface, ready to go back to the restaurant for dinner. Dee. But at this moment, suddenly, a private message notification sounded in his mind. 06 Open it and take a look. It was Zhang Zongjun who sent him the message. Your kid is really full from eating crabs. So many supplies, I want to auction a wave of king-level meat. Look at the content of the other party's information. Qin Tian replied immediately. That's hard to say. Taking advantage of the heat, you can directly bring the king-level animal meat in your hand to the auction, and you can definitely sell it for a good price. Forget it, we don't have that time. Come on, tell me the supplies you need first, I'll see if I have enough wood, plastic and metal sheets here. See here. Qin Tian smiled at first. Then start guessing in your mind. He originally had more than 7.3 million units of low-quality metal pieces and more than 40,000 ordinary metal pieces. Plus more than 12 million low-quality metal pieces in the trading backstage. That's nearly 20 million pieces of inferior metal. The units needed to break through the battleships are 13.6 million units. So after the breakthrough, he still has about 4 to 5 million pieces of metal left in his hand. As for wood and plastic, Qin Tian calculated carefully. After these two breakthroughs, it seems that there is not much left. Count here. He sent a message to Zhang Zongjun at that time. General Zhang, I want 600 units of wood, 600 units of plastic and 300 units of metal sheet. After Zhang Zongjun read it, send a message with a sigh of relief. Okay, you can have this. I'm afraid that you kid will directly turn all 1,500 units of king-level meat into metal pieces, then I can't afford it. Qin Tian couldn't laugh or cry when he saw this. Then he sent a message to Zhang Zongjun. General Zhang, let's wait until later for our transaction. I'll first combine the materials in the warehouse curry. The materials for the auction have not been extracted yet. If we add our transaction, I guess the warehouse will not be able to hold it. See this message from Qin Tian. Zhang Zongjun couldn't help being a little speechless. Although I know that the other party should think so in his heart. But he was still taken by Versailles. Why does it feel like this kid is like a pixie? All the countless materials in all directions gathered on the other side's ship without getting in or out. What a pervert. Zhang Zongjun couldn't help but sigh with emotion. After chatting with Zhang Zongjun for a few more words, Qin Tian immediately went to the restaurant to eat. It was more than 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Qin Tian met Tang Ming, who was looking for him in the aisle. Captain. Seeing Qin Tian, the other party immediately walked over with joy on his face. Then he saluted him with his head held high and said, Captain, I have already synthesized all the materials. Synthesis finished. So fast. Hear what the other party said. Qin Tian immediately opened his data backpack to check. Poor wood. 21. Common wood. 339. High quality wood. 1,117,392. Bad metal sheet. 192. Ordinary sheet metal. 34. High quality sheet metal. 1,850,055. Common nails. 31. Good nails. 0. Bad plastic. 287. Common plastic. 5. Fine plastics. 1,221,802. See here. Qin Tian has a general understanding of Tang Ming's batch synthesis speed. Originally, he was thinking that the other party estimated that it would be finished at 8 or 9 in the evening. But now it seems that he underestimated the batch synthesis speed of 100 units this time. Yes, Ming, your speed is indeed beyond my imagination. Qin Tian praised the other party with a smile all over his face. It's what I should do to solve the captain's problems. Tang Ming said excitedly and loudly. Been a sailor for so many years. His talent is finally able to feel proud. Qin Tian patted him on the shoulder with a smile and said, Ha ha ha, let's go to the warehouse, and I have a more important and difficult task for you. Talking. He is ahead. Tang Ming is behind. The two returned to Kang Curry. Qin Tian looked at the materials that had already taken up less than half. Then there was a thought. A huge pile of supplies, which was piled higher than before, appeared in front of the two of them. The non-stop flow of supplies pushed them both out of the warehouse. Tang Ming stood outside the warehouse, looking at a large pile of supplies coming out of the door. It feels like the whole person is gone. This is too much. He doesn't understand. The same as the captain. 273. Why is there such a big gap between the two? His previous captain. After working hard for a month or two, he may not be able to collect half of the materials he synthesized during the day. But now, the speed at which the captain in front of him collected supplies was simply terrifying. This is a day to drive out his previous 10 years of work. Ming, after you synthesize these materials, our warships can be upgraded to battleships immediately, so your task this time is not easy. Whether you can see our battleships as soon as possible depends entirely on you. Looking at Tang Ming, who was stunned by these supplies, Qin Tian directly released his trump card and began to pour chicken soup on the opponent. And this is just the beginning. In the future, our warships will break through into aircraft carriers, or even interstellar warships. At that time, all the synthesis of these materials will have your share of credit. I will also give you more fruits and food from time to time as your rewards. Qin Tian began to paint big cakes for the other party. What Tang Ming heard was that his blood was boiling, and his blood was surging. Okay, I'll leave it to you here. Although work is very important, you should eat on time. An inadvertent concern made the other party feel warmer. Yes, Captain, don't worry, I will definitely work hard and never let you down. Tang Ming nodded heavily after hearing this. Said solemnly to Qin Tian. That appearance is obviously heart-pumping. 45%. Chapter 228 Concealment increases, a wave of revenge is necessary. Ding, the loyalty of the crew member Tang Ming has exceeded 100. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining a loyal crew member. Hear this prompt from the will of the planet. Qin Tian couldn't help being a little astonished. Good guy. Is this loyal? Looking at the faint enthusiasm rising in Tang Ming's eyes, Qin Tian immediately felt his body tighten. Why do these guys always look at him so unscrupulously when their loyalty reaches the stage of fanaticism? This shit always makes him, the captain, feel that something is wrong. The speechless Qin Tian muttered secretly. After leaving the sentence, okay, then you are busy. He pretended to be calm and left. But thinking about the supplies in Zhang Zongjun's hands, he walked quickly to the kitchen. In the kitchen at this time, only Yu Hai was cleaning. See Qin Tian coming. Yu Dai immediately said, Captain. Qin Tian nodded and said, I'll get some Zongui king meat to trade for supplies. Yu Hai nodded when he heard the words. Without further ado, Qin Tian led Qin Tian to the table in the kitchen that was filled with the top-grade black turtle king meat, and said, Here, Captain, I put more than 300 units in the refrigerator to keep fresh. Put it here. Qin Tian patted the other party's shoulder to express his approval. Then he sent a message directly to Zhang Zongjun. General Zhang, I can trade here. Okay, Xiao Qin, wait for me a moment. Zhang Zongjun quickly sent him a message back. Then 10 seconds later, the other party sent him a transaction application directly. Qin Tian opened it, put 1,500 units of top-quality Shuangguiwang meat on the table. At the same time, Zhang Zongjun also put up 5.4 million units of low-quality wood, 5.4 million units of low-quality plastic, and 1.8 million units of low-quality metal sheets. Both parties choose to confirm. Completed the transaction. As the saying goes, don't panic if you have food in your hands. With this batch of supplies traded by Zhang Zongjun, even if he upgrades the battleship to a battleship tomorrow, there is no need to worry about the shortage of supplies. Soon it was past 7 o'clock in the evening, just when Qin Tian was dining in the restaurant with a group of crew members. The grand notification sound of the will of the planet suddenly resounded throughout the entire world of warships and the world of the world. Because it was detected that 70% of the chosen ones wanted to strengthen the confidentiality, the chat content is blocked now, and the viewers in the live broadcast room will no longer be able to see the chat content of the chosen ones. The chat template of allies has been added, and the viewing time of the live broadcast room will start from tomorrow. It starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 8 p.m. With the notification of the will of the planet, it ends. This piece of information immediately aroused heated discussions among countless people. World of Warships is also very lively. Oye, the concealment has been strengthened, and the chat content cannot be seen from the outside. Doesn't that mean that we God's chosen will have more room for manipulation in the future? Haha, this is fine, this is definitely good news for us. Damn, look at making these foreign devils happy. What kind of bad thoughts are there in your heart? Be careful, there is no big mistake. Such a big change came suddenly, and there is an additional ally option in the chat channel. The secrecy has indeed increased a lot. Anyway, we just need to be more careful these days. Qin Tian glanced at the chat channel. I saw that there were only world and country selection modules, and now there is an additional ally module. This time, wouldn't it be more convenient if several countries in the Eurasian Federation wanted to discuss some conspiracy? But overall, this change in World of Warships must have more advantages than disadvantages for God's chosen. But for the current Yanlong Empire, whose overall strength has not improved much, this change will undoubtedly increase the risk. But since it was done by the will of the planet, then no one can change it. Can only choose to accept. Eat and drink enough. Open the plane map to check if there are any king-level bosses or high-level treasure chests within 30 nautical miles of Fang Yuan. The result is of course nothing. The bored Qin Tian wandered around the deck and went back to the rest cabin to rest. And what he didn't know was, just after the time and space live broadcast room ended, Representatives of several capitalistic powers in the Eurasian Federation all entered the Allies chat channel at the same time. Everyone, today I received an order from an outside family. Qin Tian of the Yanlong Empire disregarded the contract with us big clans and blatantly disclosed the matter of king-level beast meat to the public. This is a provocation to all the big clans of our Eurasian Federation. We must not act indifferent as if this has never happened. That's right, we must teach that yellow-skinned monkey a lesson, otherwise we, the capitalists, will lose face. If we do nothing, the authority and reputation we have spent 2 years carefully building will be destroyed. But what are we going to do? We don't even know where the yellow-skinned monkey is now, so we can't send thousands of fleets all over world of warships to look for him. That would be like finding a needle in a haystack. HMPH, there are many ways to get revenge, why choose the most difficult one? How do you say it? 2 days ago, Miyayoshi Hidenobu from Sakura Empire asked me to help him find another island. I have to say that these Sakura people are really thick-skinned. We can send a message to Miyagi Hideshin to ask him to meet up with our elite fleet near their Sakura Island. Since we want to show the momentum of our federation, we should send our elites while Qin Tian is not around. This surprise attack mission must kill the coldness of the Yanlong Empire in one fell swoop, and then help the Sakura Empire to capture Sakura Island. This strategy works. Since it's a surprise attack, speed is needed. Let's deploy warships from the places closest to Sakura Island. Seconded. That's all. After a brief discussion among several capital families of the Eurasian Federation, 1,000 destroyers were selected overnight. Led by 2 cruisers, the Yuang Island, which was stationed coldly, sailed away. During the period, the generals of the Lighthouse Empire even contacted Miyayoshi Hidenobu. Ask him to lead the fleet back to Sakura Island immediately. The 7,000 elite destroyer fleet they dispatched will help them take back Sakura Island. Wangdi's Gongji Shoksan is naturally 100,000 reluctant to this. He felt that the coordinates of Sakura Island were no longer a secret. Even if the lighthouse can help him regain this time, the Yanlong Empire can drive him away for a second time at any time. If it is possible, he prefers to lead the fleet to find a new island to garrison. But if you don't agree, you don't agree. It wasn't just the Lighthouse Empire that asked him to go back this time. The empire on which the sun never sets, the Kangaroo Empire, the Rose Empire, and even the Great Cold Empire all supported him to lead the fleet back. Miyazaki Hidenobu, who didn't want to be kicked out of the circle and isolated, could only choose to agree aggrievedly. Lead the fleet back and forth. It's just that although this matter was conspired by the Eurasian Federation at night, but they each dispatched a fleet composed of destroyers, which still caused the intelligence personnel of the Yanlong Empire hidden in the live broadcast rooms of the chosen ones of the Eurasian Federation to discover something was wrong, and quickly reported the matter. 45%. Chapter 229. Inquiring about the location of the Lighthouse Island, Qin Tian wants to encircle Wei and save Zhao. As the intelligence personnel reported this matter, then, it was analyzed by professionals from the intelligence department combined with Qin Tian's announcement of king-level animal meat. The top management of the Yanlong Empire quickly came to a pretty good conclusion. That is the capital of these foreign devils who want revenge. It is very likely that these 7 elite fleets of thousands of people want to attack Yanlong 5 islands again. It's just that they don't know which island they want to sneak attack on. Fortunately, we discovered this at the very first moment of the broadcast, and immediately dispatched divinely favored people to inform General Zhang of the news so that he could be prepared, especially Leng Lai, who only had 20,000 gods chosen. It is very likely that they will be targeted again. The top management of the Yanlong Empire quickly gave combat instructions. No matter how cold and fierce the talent is, it is still an S rank. And the military position is the Imperial Navy Vice Admiral. Just in case something goes wrong, that would be a huge blow to the morale of the Yanlong Empire Navy. So I have to guard against it. That's all. The 3rd day of the polar night climate. Qin Tian, who was sleeping soundly on the wooden bed, was awakened by the sudden voice of private chat in his mind. Open your eyes and take a look. It was discovered that it was Zhang Zongjun again. This made Qin Tian's brows involuntarily wrinkle slightly. What happened again? Otherwise, Zhang Zongjun wouldn't have sent him a message to wake him up in the morning. 040. Xiao Qin, something has happened. The Eurasian Federation has dispatched 7 elite destroyer fleets of thousands of people, each led by 2 cruisers out to sea. I don't know where they are going. The higher probability is that they are planning to invade Yanlong 5 islands. When seeing this message from Zhang Zongjun, Qin Tian's drowsiness disappeared immediately. Tang sat up from the bed. Are these foreign devils crazy? The attack on Tianshu Island just failed. The lives of a battleship and nearly 100,000 chosen ones were lost. Now you're going to make trouble again. Is this the last time there weren't enough chosen ones? So this time, 7,000 elite destroyers were specifically sent to die. Wait. Suddenly, Qin Tian seemed to have suddenly thought of something. With a speechless expression on his face, he said in his heart, the reason why these big capitalists come out like this is not because I announced the secret of king-level beast meat, so they want me to work hard. But this is not right. They should know that I am not on Yanlong 5 Islands. Then why go to Yanlong Wudao? This, IFK. These bloody Gentile devils. Could it be that he couldn't find me, so he simply ran over and planned to slaughter a Yanlong Island? But these 7,000 people seem to be a bit insufficient, right? Etc. And Sakura Empire. At this moment, Qin Tian's head is like a computer running at high speed. Quickly analyzing each problem, he immediately sent a message to Zhang Zongjun. General Zhang, haven't you asked where the Little Devil's fleet is now? Zhang Zongjun sent a message. Ask, but what the intelligence personnel detected was that the Little Devil's fleet was still wandering in the ocean, and they didn't know exactly where it went. Seeing this, Qin Tian shook his head helplessly. This is the disadvantage of hiding the content of the chat. Their Yanlong Empire is weak now. There is no clue to speculate on the exact target of the other party. Then their task of arranging defense will undoubtedly be much more difficult. In fact, if you look at it according to Qin Tian, at this time, giving up Yuang Island coldly is the best choice. On the one hand, it avoids the dispersion of the strength of the army. On the other hand, it is to let the fleet of the Eurasian Federation be cautious and dare not attack easily. It is even very possible to let them lie down for nothing. Think here. He immediately sent a message to Zhang Zongjun. General Zhang, if conditions permit, I think it's fine to transfer Brother Leng and Nangong Music back to Tianshu Island or to Yaoguang Island. Now, that island will be ours sooner or later. Zhang Zongjun saw Qin Tian's message. Nodding his head, he replied. What you said makes sense. In fact, I have thought about it too. I will explain your meaning and suggestion to Leng Lai. Okay, let me see Aga how long it will take to get back from me. Qin Tian finished sending this message. Immediately got dressed and came to the control room. After seeing Wei Chen, let him call out the coordinates of Yuang Island and Tianshu Island that were saved before. See how many days it takes to go back to these two places from here. After some operations by Wei Chen, the answer was given quickly. Yuang Island for 11 days. 14 days on Tianshu Island. This number of days made Qin Tian's head a little big in an instant. 10 days. 14 days. There's definitely no going back. If the opponent really launched a surprise attack, it is likely that they will be able to go to the 5 islands of Yanlong to fight in 3 or 4 days. Think here. He called up Zhang Zongjun's chat panel again. Send a message. General Zhang, it will take about 11 or 14 days to return to Yuang Island and Tianshu Island from me. It must be too late to go back. So, do you have the island coordinates of the Lighthouse Empire? Send me a few, and I will see which island is closer to the lighthouse in my area. What do you want, kid? Let me tell you, don't be stupid. I just let Leng Lai come back straight away. There is no need for you to take risks. Seeing that Qin Tian seemed to want to imitate Leng Lai's play of besieging Wei and saving Zhao, Zhang Zongjun suddenly became nervous. And Qin Tian saw this message sent by the other party. Laughed. Send a message. Don't worry, General Zhang, my battleship can be upgraded to a battleship today, and the overall strength of my battleship has increased recently. If I really want to break through into a battleship and go to the opponent's island, as long as I have enough metal pieces, I can fight. The other party has nothing to do. Zhang Zongjun, who was still worried at first, saw this message from Qin Tian. There was a flash of light in the deep eyes. If that's the case, then he doesn't have to worry too much. And judging from past practices, Qin Tian belongs to the kind of person who doesn't fight unprepared battles. So since the other party dared to say that, there is a high probability that there is full confidence. Think here. He's not sloppy either. Directly 4x sent Qin Tian the coordinates of the 7 lighthouse islands. Anyway, I can't see what he posted in the live broadcast room now. So he doesn't have to hide anything anymore. And if the people of the Lighthouse Empire know that Zhang Zongjun actually has the exact coordinates of their 7 islands, That would probably shock their jaws straight away. Let them be terrified, although Lang Lai used to jump back and forth between several of their islands. But that's just between 4 or 5 small islands. Although they were not sure in the end that Lang Lang knew the exact location of their islands. But Zhang Zongjun's move can definitely shock everyone. 46%. Chapter 230. Take the initiative to attack and target the island of the rich capital. Looking at the coordinates of the 7 lighthouses sent by Zhang Zongjun, Qin Tian wanted not to arouse the suspicion of those lighthouse intelligence personnel in his live broadcast room. He simply called Wei Chen over, then whispered these coordinates to him in his ear. Let him check one by one. See which island is closest to you. Wei Chen was ordered to go back and search. The answer was given quickly. There are 2 places that are only 3 and 5 days away from them. Without even thinking about it, Qin Tian directly asked Wei Chen to go to the island that was only 3 days away from them. After finishing these, Qin Tian was preparing to leave the control room. Suddenly, he was taken aback. Meow, something is wrong. Shouldn't the culprits this time be the big capitalist families of the Eurasian Federation? I was really confused. Why did you subconsciously focus on several islands of the Lighthouse Empire military? Isn't this putting the cart before the horse? Think here. He immediately opened Zhang Zongjun's private chat interface again. Then send a message. No, General Zhang, did we make a mistake? Zhang Zongjun quickly sent a message. What went wrong? It can be seen that the other party was a little dazed when he asked this sentence. I'm dizzy, General Zhang, this time we went in the wrong direction. The ones who provoked this fight should be the big capitalists. What are we doing on the islands of the Lighthouse military? We should go to the islands of the big capitalists. See Qin Tian's message. Zhang Zongjun also slapped his forehead in a sudden realization. When I suddenly heard the news early in the morning. He was only worried about the situation of Lang Lai and the other islands, and then he was in a hurry to contact Qin Tian, but he neglected this issue. Really, although the Lighthouse Navy of World of Warships is actually similar to the private army of these capitalists. But the basic discs of those big capitalist families are still on the islands of their respective families. Extinguishing the lighthouse and 10 islands is not as deterrent as hurting these big clans and 1 island. Thump thump. It's just that he didn't wait for him to think about it. A guard outside knocked on his door. Then he reported, General, Major Li he is here. What? This guy came in from outside. As soon as Zhang Zongjun heard the name, there was a sudden joy on his face. Immediately said, let him in. At the same time, he also sent a message to Qin Tian. The Empire just sent in another heavyweight God-favored person, who probably brought some important news. I'll contact you later. Finished. There was no movement. Seeing this, Qin Tian sighed helplessly. Where is he going next? How about contacting Lang Lai and asking about the location of Lot Island? But thinking about it, he dismissed the idea again. Let's see if Zhang Zongjun gains anything here. After about 10 minutes, Zhang Zongjun sent him a message. Xiao Qin, there is news. This time, 7 capital families in the Eurasian Federation have dispatched their own elite destroyer fleets. At present, there are only the general area coordinates of these 4 families. Check to see if there are any near you. Finished. Zhang Zongjun sent him the coordinates of 4 sea areas. Qin Tian immediately called Wei Chen over. Let him search for the location of these 4 coordinates. Within seconds, Wei Chen gave the answer. Captain, the nearest of these 4 areas is 4 days away from us, and the rest are about 10 days away. Qin Tian listened, immediately said, then go to the 4-day journey. He couldn't help feeling a little pity in his heart. It seems that this time we can only clean up this one first. I don't even know which country this big capitalist family belongs to. Yes, Captain, hear Qin Tian's instruction. Wei Chen immediately turned the rudder to starboard. The battleship draws a semicircle. Then sail in the opposite direction. And Qin Tian looked at it a few times. He turned and left the control room. Next, let's look at Tang Ming. As long as the supplies are complete, he will immediately upgrade the battleship. Wait for the battleship to upgrade to a battleship. As long as there are enough metal sheet materials, he has enough confidence to fortify one of the opponent's islands. At that time, even if the opponent goes all out and breaks the battleship into an aircraft carrier, so what? He didn't believe how many high-quality fighter jets the opponent could have in the early stage. At that time, maybe I can get the title of the only first kill of Carrier Terminator. Just wait and wait. A day passed in the blink of an eye. The full moon hangs high. bright moon and silver light, glittering on the shining sea. Qin Tian stood on the deck admiring the tranquil night scene. I can't help feeling a little anxious. Why hasn't this guy Tang Ming packed his supplies yet? Although this time the supplies are a bit much. But with the opponent's batch synthesis speed, it should be about the same. He was thinking about it here. Seeing Tang Ming's face was very excited, he came to him. Captain, fortunately, he did not disgrace his life, and all of them have been synthesized. Hear what the other person has to say. Qin Tian's eyes lit up and he immediately opened the data backpack. 0 seeking flowers. I saw that the 3 materials inside had changed again. Bad wood, 821. Common wood, 339. Fine wood, 243 9442. Inferior sheet metal, 688. Ordinary sheet metal, 34. Fine sheet metal, 4,851,955. Common nails, 31. Good nails, 0. Poor quality plastic, 587. Common plastic, 5. Fine plastics, 2,393,502. Read the quantity of materials in the data list. He used the divine detective technique to open the attribute panel of the battleship to take a look. After seeing the advanceable that appeared after the advanced, without any hesitation, he directly chose advanceable. May I ask if the captain consumes 1.5 million high-quality wood, 2 million high-quality plastics, 1.2 million high-quality nails, and 2.2 million high-quality metal sheets to advance the large cruiser? Yes. Qin Tian nodded immediately. Then the bright golden light enveloped the entire battleship. See battleships shrouded in a glow of upgrades. Qin Tian immediately patted Tang Ming's shoulder happily and said, "Ha ha ha, Ah Ming, great job, our battleship will be upgraded to a battleship soon." But before Tang Ming could answer, there was only a crisp sound of click. Then the door of the control room on the ship tower was suddenly opened from the inside. Then Yao Lang, Wei Chen and a dozen people all walked out of the control room. After seeing Qin Tian and Tang Ming on the deck, Yao Lang's eyes lit up immediately. Then he took the lead and ran over from the ship tower. "Captain, is our battleship going to be upgraded?" He looked at Qin Tian and asked excitedly. Qin Tian looked at their expectant expressions, and immediately said with a smile, "That's right, our battleship will be upgraded to a battleship in a while, and this battleship can achieve its current achievements, all of which are inseparable from your support. Hard work. I will swear allegiance to the captain to the death." Yao Lang immediately shouted frantically. And he yelled. Wei Chen and Ma Fei also shouted loudly. Immediately behind them, the crew members of the Kang Lan who had just been searched and rescued also shouted. "Ding! The loyalty of the crew member Zhu Le has exceeded 100. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining a loyal crew member. Ding! The crew member Chu Hongbao has broken through 100 sincerity points. Congratulations to the captain for getting a loyal crew member." Then yelled and yelled. Qin Tian has already received several loyal messages from Planetary Consciousness. 46%. Chapter 231 Breakthrough Battleship, Ocean Boss Rebia. That's okay too. Looking at the expressions of enthusiasm and longing gradually rising on the faces of the new crew members behind, Qin Tian sighed speechlessly. Then he said to Yao Lang and Wei Chen, "Okay, you all go back and do your work." "Yes, Captain." Yao Lang happily saluted Wei Chen. Then he took all the newcomers who were reluctant to part and looked back at every step back to the control room. Qin Tian looked at their backs and smiled. It would be nice if all the loyalty of this group of crew members became diehards. At least wait until Wei Chen, Yao Lang and Ma Fei changed shifts with these people. Qin Tian didn't have to worry that they would drive the battleship into the enemy's encirclement. And after they are all familiar with it, in the future, the attached advanced warships can also be safely handed over to them to control. "Okay, Ah Ming, you can go to your own business. I will put another batch of materials in the warehouse curry, and then you only need to synthesize them in your spare time during the September 17th, within 3 days that's it." Qin Tian also spoke to Tang Ming beside him. "Ah, are there any more supplies?" Hearing Qin Tian's words, Tang Ming was shocked. "Hee, don't worry, there aren't that many this time. There are just over 5 million pieces of low-quality wood, over 5 million pieces of low-quality plastic, and 1.8 million pieces of low-quality metal. You can synthesize them within 3 days. Don't worry." Qin Tian said calmly with a slight smile. Little did he know that these 3 numbers made Tang Ming's heart twitch violently. "Good guy. I won't die suddenly at work in the future, will I?" It took only 2 or 3 days to get on this ship. The materials synthesized by his hands have reached as many as 30 to 40 million units. And now it's even scarier. In the mouth of my young captain, the huge amount of materials of more than 10 million yuan has become a small amount. It's nothing. So what is a large number? 1 or 2 billion, just the synthesis number of 100 in one batch. It is estimated that it will take more than 10 or 20 days to synthesize materials worth 1 or 2 billion yuan. Qin Tian's workload is that as long as he can't die, he will use it to death. Xiao's own talent felt alarmed. Haha, well, I'll go back first. You kid has worked hard all day, so go to bed early at night. After Qin Tian, who didn't know what the other party was thinking, greeted the other party. They went directly to the warehouse. After extracting all the materials that Zhang Zongjun traded to him from the trading backstage, he went back to his room to rest. Nothing to say all night. Woke up the next morning. When he sat up, he saw that the surrounding golden light had dissipated. But the size of the room didn't change much after that. He immediately opened the attribute panel of his battleship with the divine detective technique on a whim. Name: small battleship, nameable. Displacement: 25,700 tons. Air 248.3 x 30.3 times 15.1. 48,850. 46117-50403. Defense: 1800. Strengthened fire control system. Power system: UQD 3100 gas turbine times 4. Speed: 30 plus 5 knots. Weapon system: dual AK 130 mm naval gun orange times 1, 406 mm dual main gun green times 8, dual 380 mm dual purpose gun green times 16, mythical Y1130 near anti-aircraft gun times 20. Genesis class dual 57 mm naval guns colorful times 1, mythological class 52 122 mm rocket launchers red times 2, mythological class Y15 anti-ship missiles. Fire control radar orange. Strengthen the missile device. Enhance the radar system. Enhanced torpedo system. Ordinary advancement. Low quality wood 450,000, low quality plastic 500,000, low quality nails 250,000, low quality metal sheet 300,000, can be advanced to a medium-sized battleship ordinary. High quality goods advanced. Ordinary wood 300,000, ordinary plastic 350,000, ordinary nails 200,000, ordinary metal sheet 300,000, can be advanced into a medium-sized battleship excellent. Advanced advancement. 250,000 high-quality wood, 300,000 high-quality plastics, 200,000 high-quality nails, 250,000 high-quality metal sheets, can be advanced into a medium-sized battleship extreme. Look at this properties panel. Qin Tian secretly compared in his heart. Although the displacement has been reduced a bit, but the blood volume has increased by 8,000. The attack has increased by 8 or 9,000. Defense increased by 500. Qin Tian is quite satisfied with this promotion. Say nothing else. The blood volume of 8,000 alone is very substantial. As for the attack of the main and auxiliary guns, Qin Tian didn't want to say anything. How accurate the battleship is obvious to all. That is to say, if you hit the boss, you can hit all of them with an 80% chance. But the accuracy of hitting the enemy's warship is really hip. Even if he installs the enhanced epic shooting stabilizer 0. Increased accuracy by 10%. But estimates are no exception. As for his S-level talent must hit. He has studied it before. If it is upgraded to SSS level, then it can bless the artillery fire of the whole ship. It's just that after hitting 3 times in a row, it will cool down for 1 minute. And his current S-class can only choose 3 naval guns for binding. After binding, it cannot be unbound until the S-level talent must hit is upgraded to SSS. And because there have been no 3 main naval guns of better quality that could catch his eyes. So Qin Tian has never been bound. Also can't use this skill. After a quick wash, Qin Tian came to the deck. I saw the blue sky, white clouds and fresh air outside. Obviously, after 3 days of extremely hot weather and 3 days of extreme night weather, the weather in World of Warships is back to normal again. The chosen ones can grow steadily for a period of time again. He looked across the deck. It can be seen that the original 203 mm twin main guns and 127 mm single tube secondary guns have all been replaced with super large caliber cannons. 48 406mm dual-link main guns and 1632 380mm dual-purpose secondary guns. 40 large sea gun barrels moved forward in unison. Let Qin Tian fall in love with this size instantly at a glance. This is the real giant ship cannon, although it's just some free green quality naval guns. But this didn't affect Qin Tian's liking at all. Big 3.1 is over. Anyway, I will slowly replace these naval guns with better quality ones. In the studio, see these sea cannon barrels that have almost doubled in size. Everyone was amazed. I'm sorry, Qin Shen newbie. This will be upgraded to a battleship. Ha ha ha, it's so cool. I hope those destroyer fleets don't trouble our Yanlong 5 islands, otherwise God Qin will definitely teach them how to behave. The Qinshan destroyer can overthrow the Yamato, and now that it has been upgraded to a battleship, will it sink a battleship after 2 or 3 rounds of attack? 2 or 3 rounds should be a bit difficult. After all, the aim of the main gun of the battleship is a bit stretched, but Qinshan's anti-ship missiles and rocket launchers are powerful, so the main gun can be used as an auxiliary method. 1. Ding! Congratulations to Felix, the chosen one of the Lighthouse Empire, for discovering the traces of the ocean boss Rebia, a special reward for a blue material treasure chest. 46%. Chapter 232. Once the title is opened, put your hands in your pockets. While Qin Tian was admiring the naval guns on the battleship on the deck, the grand voice of the planets will suddenly sounded. The challenge of ocean boss Rebia will start in 5 minutes, please enter the portal to face the chosen ones. The battle time is 15 minutes. Friendly reminder, during the event period, it is forbidden for the chosen to attack each other, and at the same time, pay attention to avoid the attack of the ocean boss Rebia. If the ship is destroyed, or the blood volume is cleared, the chosen will die accordingly. This time, the top 3 god chosen who have the most damage to the ocean boss Rebia will receive generous rewards. The first place will receive a creation level treasure chest reward, the second place will receive a myth level treasure chest reward, and the third place will receive a 1 gold level treasure chest reward. The top 10 can get an epic level treasure box reward, the top 100 can get a high level treasure box reward, the top 1000 can get a green treasure box reward, and the rest can get a participating treasure box reward. Please God's chosen, get ready for battle. When you hear that the damage ranks first, you can get the Genesis level treasure chest. The eyes of all the chosen ones were red. Damn it, it's actually a creation level treasure chest. Is the 06 reward of the world boss so generous? Fake. It's the top 3 again. It's really unfair. This kind of activity is to make the strong stronger and the weak weaker. If that Qin Tian also participated, wouldn't the number 1 be his again? Xiete, upstairs, don't build up other people's ambitions, but destroy your own prestige, okay. Our boss Reese is also very powerful, right? It was only Qin Tian who was lucky last time, but not this time. That's right, last time boss Reese did a little less damage than that Yanlong. If it weren't for how fast the boss's blood volume was cleared, the first place would definitely belong to boss Reese. Hey, you foreign devils, stop being funny, okay. How long has it been? Our Qin Shendu has upgraded the cruiser. Do you think you will still be afraid of Reese Duke? Did not pay attention to these contents in the chat channel. After Qin Tian heard the voice of the will of the planet, immediately stepped into the control room. Captain, there is a portal ahead, shall we go in? See Qin Tian come in. Wei Chen hurriedly asked. Go in. Qin Tian nodded affirmatively. Seeing his own captain nodded. Without hesitation, Wei Chen turned the steering wheel and controlled the battleship to drive towards the vortex portal. With a sense of weightlessness came when everyone's eyes regained their vision. They saw that they had come to a calm sea, surrounded by a large group of warships of all kinds that are appearing one after another. It's just that most of them are destroyers, frigates and gunboats. And as soon as Qin Tian's battleship appeared, in an instant, it attracted the attention of all the chosen ones in the audience. I'm going. It's another battleship. I don't know which boss it belongs to. Don't think about it. It's not bad if we can successfully upgrade to cruisers in this life. Strange, why do I feel that this battleship has never been seen in our camp of the Eurasian Federation, even the Maoshang Empire and the Yanlong Empire? It seems that the battleship of which camp is this? It should be newly promoted, but why do I feel that this battleship is so familiar? Hey, I seem to have heard that an ordinary god chosen from our Asan Empire opened an epic-class naval cannon from the participating treasure box last time. Is it true or not? Really, why do you think I risked my life to come in and participate in this activity this time? Many familiar gods' chosen people gathered around in twos and threes to discuss. And in the control room, Yao Lang and the others looked at all kinds of warships around them and couldn't help chatting. Captain, I have to say that your upgrade speed is really fast. I remember that we were still destroyers when we fought this kind of boss last time. How long has it been since we have become the top battleships here? Yao Lang stood in front of the center console and looked at Qin Tian with a smile and said cheerfully, Brother Lang, how wonderful this is, it proves that our captain is capable. Ma Fei also said flattering with a smile on the side. Hey, Xiao Ma, you didn't know it when you didn't come. We almost missed the first place that time, and there was a battleship with fierce firepower. Even Wei Chen, who didn't chat much, joined in at this moment. I knock, is it so powerful? But it doesn't matter, we can even match the damage of the destroyer with the opponent's battleship, so now the opponent must be flattering and can't catch up with us. Oh, you fellows. Hearing their chat, Qin Tian said with a smile. Hit me hard for a while, anyway, I've already replenished the ammo, and I only have one request, hit me as fast as you can. Qin Tian finished speaking towards them. Then there was a thought. I saw it above the head of his battleship. A huge title of azure blue appeared. Ocean Expedition. The dazzling light immediately attracted everyone's attention. Then, he opened the door of the control room and walked out directly. I.FKU. This is God Qin. Oh, I live in Bungbu. God Qin has already upgraded the battleship to a battleship. Wahaha, awesome. This time, my Yanlong Empire has completely risen. Come on, little devils, whoever refuses to accept it, hurry up and challenge me to God Qin. I, God Qin, rule all kinds of dissatisfaction. FK, how is this possible? How long has he been here? It's been more than 3 months. I even bought it. It's unbelievable. 930. It's over. When this Yanlong was still a destroyer, he was able to sink the battleship Yamato of the Sakura Kingdom. Now that he has been upgraded to a battleship, no one can stop him. Around, some Sakura devils who heard this last sentence all clenched their fists in humiliation. Since their Yamato was sunk by Qin Tian with a destroyer, everything changed. The status of their Sakura Empire in the alliance has plummeted. More and more people don't care about them. The fleet sent to participate in the Battle of Tianshu Island was completely wiped out by Qin Tian alone. In the end, he was so frightened by the opponent and the Yanlong Navy fleet led by Lang Lai that he abandoned the island and fled, retreating without a fight. All of this seems to be related to this Yanlong man. And now, the opponent even upgraded the battleship to a battleship. There is a bright halo of title on his head, like the Supreme King of World of Warships. Overlook all the alien fleets around. Ha, you kid is too awesome, just upgrade to a battleship. Lang Lai was the first to come to Qin Tian's side. As soon as he came over, he said with a heroic smile. Qin Tian saw him. With a smile, he walked from the ship tower to the side of the ship. And then not for a while. Nangong Le and Zhang Zongjun also brought the battleship over. 46%. Chapter 233 The challenge begins, Nangong Li's guided missile cruiser. Idol, you are too awesome, I have just been promoted to a cruiser, and you are already a battleship. As soon as Nangong Le came over, he said to Qin Tian cheerfully. Qin Tian looked at the opponent's few naval guns. But it is covered with densely packed decks of vertical silos. For a moment, his entire scalp felt numb. Good guy, you girl, don't you plan to go to the dark with a ship of missiles, and directly create the warship genre in World of Warships? Qin Tian looked at Nangong and asked happily. Just by looking at the launchers of various missiles and rockets on both sides of the shipbuilding and the dense vertical missile silos on the deck, one can guess how much this girl's combat effectiveness has improved. If this wave continues, there will probably be 200 or 300 anti-ship missiles and rocket launchers. It's almost as good as a small fleet, coupled with the opponent's luck that made him feel envious. These missiles and rocket launchers that can be installed on her battleship are probably not low-grade good things. Haha, there is no way. Who opened the box a while ago and opened up several missile blueprints? Nangong said with a naughty smile. Shaoshan, you don't know how lucky this girl is. Good guy, I haven't passed the treasure box in the last second. When she is about to pass in the next second, the treasure box floats up from the sea. You tell me, does it make sense? Lang Lai said with a depressed and bitter face. Ha, brother Lang, just get used to it. This girl's invisible luck is definitely max. You should have a treasure chest for this girl to open in the future. Qin Tian said with a smile. And here they are talking and laughing. In the distance, Reese Duke was staring at Qin Tian. He has been very unhappy recently. The precipitous decline in prestige and reputation made him suffer a lot of criticism on the family island. If it weren't for the strength of his battleship, he might have been abandoned by the older generation of the family. Qin Tian, let me make you happy for a while. This time I will definitely get the Genesis-level treasure box. Reese Duke thought coldly in his heart. As long as he can beat Qin Tian, all the criticism suffered before that will no longer be a problem at all. History is written by the victors. He only needs to beat Qin Tian once. Then some people in the Eurasian Federation will naturally portray him as the only hero in the Federation who can contend against Qin Tian. His popularity will then be greater than ever. All scandals will be covered up. It is even possible to say the same in the family. When everyone has their own thoughts. A huge shark fin suddenly appeared on the distant sea level. As the shark's fin rises higher and higher, soon a huge shark the size of a mountain emerged, half of its body looking at the opponent's sharp teeth and sharp fins like a machete. Qin Tian immediately used a divine detective technique towards the opponent. Name: Rebia. Health volume: 6,000,000, 6,000,000. After seeing the opponent's blood bar clearly, Qin Tian immediately said to Zhang Zongjun, Leng Lai and Nangongla, let's retreat later. The speed of this boss may be very fast, so let's not be the first bird. Let's take a look at the other party first. Let's talk about how high the attack damage is. Okay, listen to you. The three of them nodded in agreement coldly at the same time. And at this moment, the grand voice of the planets will suddenly sounded. Ocean boss Rebia's challenge will start in 3 seconds. Please prepare for the battle. 3, 2, 1. Challenge begins. With the voice of the planet's will, it fell. I saw the giant shark, which hadn't made any movement just now, suddenly swam towards the densest crowd with a flick of its tail. That speed is like a cat running at full speed. I saw, whoosh, and rushed into the crowd. Back. Seeing this, Qin Tian immediately gave a drink. Then there was a thought. His battleship began to retreat rapidly. No need for him to order anything. With his battleship retreating, Yao Lang and Ma Fei immediately controlled the battleship and started firing. The cannon roared. Rocket salvo. The mythical class 52 122mm rocket launcher and the mythical class Y-15 anti-ship missile launcher shot out all the ammunition without any distress. Then in this piece of sea area that is separately divided by the will of the world, a damage leaderboard appeared in the upper right corner of everyone's line of sight. On the above, who has dealt how much damage, and which rank is clearly displayed. This wave of attacks from Qin Tian came out. The ranking directly ranked first. Injury: 40,839. The second place is Reese Duke. Injury: 36,871. The third place went to Cecily Adams. Injury: 33,991. But Zhang Zongjun and the others just glanced at the damage ranking and stopped paying attention. Follow closely behind Qin Tian while attacking the boss, while quickly transferring to the peripheral area. Among them, Nangong Li's attack is the most eye-catching. Dozens of missiles and rocket launchers flew out, dozens of rocket launchers and missiles. The vertical silo covering almost half of the deck was also emitting white smoke. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of missiles soared into the sky. This scene amused all the countless god-chosen around. Good guy. This Yanlong Empire's rookie, girl of the morning sun, is so good, she actually took the missile route. It looks like this woman has no common sense. Doesn't she know that low-level missiles are harmless? Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Just wait for the Yanlong Empire's Chengxi female general to be slapped in the face. It's just that as those missiles and rockets exploded on Boss Rebia, they caused 3-digit and 4-digit damage. Nangong Li's name appeared directly after the 6th place in the injury ranking. Those people couldn't laugh anymore. Everyone was so stunned that they nearly popped their eyeballs out. Crash. And at this time, Boss Rebia, who had already destroyed dozens of low-level warships, wagged his tail and rushed into a group of battleships again. Many of the gunboats didn't even have time to see what was happening. The whole gunboat was bitten in half by the huge shark in front of it. This shows how powerful the opponent's attack power is. 46%. Chapter 234 God operates, world boss has been collected. Idle, we should be close at this distance, right? Qin Tian led the three of them to a distance of tens of thousands of meters from the boss. Amidst the deafening gunfire, Nangong Li shouted loudly to Qin Tian on the deck. Qin Tian nodded to indicate that it was all right. This distance is even if the shark boss is rushing here. It is estimated that there will be more than 10 or 20 pauses. What's more, there are so many cannon fodder ahead. So during this period, it was enough to reduce the blood volume of that boss to a very low level. Qin Tian glanced at the injury ranking in the upper right corner. Just such a short time. His damage has reached more than 500,000. That's more than 30,000 more damage than Reese Duke. Firmly ranked first. And Reese Duke, who has also been paying attention to the damage ranking, is already furious at the moment. He originally thought that his battleship had installed several high-quality naval guns during this time. The damage was much higher than that of Qin Tian's. But at least it should stabilize the other side. But the reality gave him a ruthless big bag. Voltage regulation is indeed voltage regulation. But the one who was crushed was not Qin Tian, but him. This broke him down. But it's no use crashing again. In the world of warships, the emphasis is on 507 strength and firepower. The damage statistics of the will of the planet will not give him tens of thousands of extra damage just because he is furious. The cannon roared. Missiles and rockets are flying all over the sky. The blood volume of the shark boss was quickly reduced to 4 million under the endless artillery fire. Qin Tian saw clearly. The moment the opponent's blood volume dropped to 4 million. There was a thunderbolt in those scarlet eyes. Then follow. Focus on the other party's huge body. Within a kilometer of Fang Yuan, sparks and lightning flashed endlessly. The lightning lasted for 5 or 6 seconds. During this time. Don't talk about anti-low blood thin gunboats. Even those frigates with average blood volume exploded one after another. Then it sank into the bottom of the sea with billowing smoke. Fortunately, this boss does not have the ability to kill warships to recover blood. Otherwise, wouldn't it be necessary to make up for the lost 2 million blood volume? And such a terrifying scene can be said to have shocked countless gods chosen. Those gunboats and frigates that happened to be not within the range of this kilometer and escaped the catastrophe were mostly emptied in an instant. Only some large frigates and destroyers are left. How dare you stay here again? Agba desperately began to squeeze outside. The result is such a squeeze. It caused traffic jams. And how could such a gathering scene not attract the attention of Boss Rebia? I saw its wide tail swinging left and right. The huge body rammed like a train and raged again in the surrounding areas where the battleships were densely populated. And behind it, several destroyers who had escaped from death had not waited for action. After being swept heavily by its tail, some were broken directly from the middle into 2 pieces. Some were overturned by its tail, then slowly sank into the sea. Hiss. See here. Nangong La, Leng Lai and Zhang Zongjun couldn't help but gasped. Fortunately, they followed Qin Tian and retreated from the beginning. Otherwise this would be stuck there. Don't you have to bite the bullet and resist the big attack of the shark boss? They can see clearly now. 5 or 6 kilometers away in front of them. Countless warships have been completely messed up. If you are crowded together, you can't get out, and you can't get in. How can they occupy a good output position like them? For those who are leisurely, just output well. At this moment, they couldn't help but look at Qin Tian. Or this guy has the foresight. Don't care about him. In the beginning, distance yourself from the boss. Then the next step is to advance or retreat. They can completely grasp the initiative. The 3 expressed that they had learned all the essence. And there is no suspense in the next battle. This shark boss is typically a melee boss. In 5 or 6 minutes, the sea area within 4 to 5 kilometers around it was wreaked havoc. After sinking an unknown number of gunboats, frigates and destroyers, its blood bar was finally emptied. After it exploded for the last time with a range of thunder and lightning attacks for a few seconds. Boss Rebia's huge tail trembled for the last time. Its vitality disappeared instantly. The huge corpse began to sink slowly into the sea. And at this moment, something happened that stunned everyone. I saw it at a distance of more than 10 meters away from the boss corpse. A destroyer that was almost ravaged and emptied of blood bars suddenly rushed towards the boss's body at this moment. Then, before everyone was forcibly withdrawn from that sea area, they came to the corpse of the boss. Everyone sees it. The body of the boss Rebia suddenly disappeared without warning. Qin Tian saw it clearly at the last glance. The moment the boss corpse disappeared, a lot of meat slices suddenly appeared on the deck of the destroyer. Qin Tian only had time to let out such an explosive sound. Then follow the flowers in front of you. Wait until you regain consciousness. He found that he had returned to the original sea surface. The battleship is still sailing smoothly. Without any hesitation, he directly opened the world chat channel. It turned out that everyone inside was discussing the unimaginable scene just now. Oh, Xiete, who is responsible for the operation of that destroyer just now. I just want to know how much king-level sea beast meat that great master got. Is there any need to ask? That is the world boss. If you don't decompose more than 10,000 units of king-level meat, can you be worthy of his world-class status? Fake. Tens of thousands of units of king-level meat. How much material can be sold if it is auctioned? Can it be directly upgraded to a battleship? Zyba, it's not fair. We killed so many people to kill that world boss, but the huge benefits are so cheap for others. That person, you come out and share the king level meat that I deserve 500 units for me. I'm lying down. I'm numb. I'm completely numb. Envy has torn my body apart. Is this the legendary saying that if you survive a catastrophe, you will have a future blessing? World, the chat channel is full of envy and jealousy. This made Qin Tian confirm that his last glance was not dazzled. The other party really broke down to the world boss. IFK. Don't talk about others. At this moment, even Qin Tian's eyes turned red with envy. It turns out that the world boss can still play like this. Have to say, World of Warships is truly full of magic and opportunity. He always thought that the world boss could not be collected. But now it seems, or he is too timid. It's really seeking wealth and wealth. He can already imagine it completely. Wait until the next time you encounter the world boss in a state of dying. What kind of crazy moves will these God-chosen ones make? It is estimated that being brave and not afraid of death is light. Crazy queuing to send heads might be a better description of that scene. After all, it is in that separate sea area. The chosen are not allowed to attack each other. Then this is tantamount to giving a chance to destroyers and frigates of average strength, and even the lowest level gunboats. As long as you are lucky enough to catch this opportunity, then they will have a chance to soar into the sky. 47%. Chapter 235 Genesis Treasure Chest, Nemesis Aircraft Carrier. Just like the destroyer this time. Qin Tian could already imagine the fiery scene when the other party started the auction. It seems that I can no longer lean back when I fight the boss next time. Otherwise, it is estimated that they will not even be able to squeeze to the front. Qin Tian thought a little speechlessly. Who would have thought that it would take only a few seconds after the fight? It was actually used to collect boss corpses for God's chosen. He had never seen anyone operate like this in his previous life. This event to challenge the world boss Rebia has ended. Congratulations to Qin Tian, the chosen one of the Yanlong Empire, for giving the final blow to the boss, and a special reward for killing the treasure chest one. And at this moment, the grand voice of the will of the world began to announce the challenge result. A killing treasure chest made Qin Tian's heart more or less balanced. Congratulations to every chosen one who survived. You will receive a corresponding level of challenge gift pack. The top 3 God chosen who have caused the most damage to Ocean Boss Rebia this time will receive generous rewards. Please pay attention to check. With the voice of the planet's will, it fell. A virtual panel appeared in front of all the chosen ones. It is this time to challenge the damage ranking of the Ocean Boss Rebia. Qin Tian's headshot is impressively in the middle of the top. Bottom left is, as usual, Reese Duke. On the right is Cecily Adams. This ranking is exactly the same as the top 3 rankings after fighting the world boss last time. Look at the situation. If nothing else, it is very likely that these 3 people will continue to be so stereotyped in the future. Especially Qin Tian, absolutely the top professional accountant. Finish the boss this time. His damage is more than 100,000 higher than that of Reese Duke. This difference is for them at this stage. It can be said to be very huge. It represents an almost insurmountable gap between the 2 sides. It's just that not many people pay attention to these at this stage. At this moment, their attention is all focused on the destroyer that rushed out to collect the body of Boss Rebia at the last moment. That hand can be called a stroke of magic. It aroused heated discussions among almost all the chosen ones. But Qin Tian envy is envy. But he also got the treasure chest reward for killing and the first ranked creation treasure chest reward. It can be regarded as making up for the depression in the dim sum. Only Reese Duke stood on the deck of his own battleship at this moment with a pale face and as cold as ice. He couldn't accept this reality at all. Challenge the world boss or other activities like before. His damage is almost always ranked first. From time to time, you can also get a kill chest to maximize your own benefits. But since this Yanlong Empire guy came in, All these honors seemed to be far away from him. How could he, who was used to standing at the pinnacle of God's chosen, accept this? After all, the treasure chest was killed last time. He also drew a drawing of a legendary 406mm naval gun from it. But now, they are all taken away by the other party. Damn Qin Tian, just wait. As long as it takes a while, wait for those god-level treasure islands to open. I, who upgraded to a double-attribute aircraft carrier, will let you understand what the real gap is. Reese Duke clenched his fists. I thought coldly in my heart. It's just about his thoughts. Qin Tian naturally has no way of knowing. Because at this moment he is standing on the deck of his own battleship. Looking at the two treasure chests in front of him, the corners of his mouth raised high. Kill the treasure chest. Genesis treasure chest. These two treasure chests are super rare treasure chests in World of Warships. Especially the creation level treasure chest. It is also a treasure chest that countless God-chosen can't even see in their lifetime. But now they are all quietly placed in front of his eyes. How could this not make Qin Tian excited? As for which one to play first, Qin Tian always likes to save the good ones for the last. So he walked to the black and gold treasure chest without hesitation. Grab the top cover and flip it off. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining the blueprint of the legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun ×1. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining the legendary universal autoloader ×1. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining the legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun ×1. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 10,000 units of fine wood. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 10,000 units of fine flax. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 10,000 units of fine metal sheets. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 10,000 units of excellent plastics. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 10,000 barrels of crude oil. Looking at the crude oil barrels and piles of supplies that covered the entire deck in an instant. And that super huge triple-mounted naval gun. Qin Tian couldn't help showing excitement in his eyes. There are actually two legendary 406mm main naval guns. And one of them is a blueprint. Great drawing. He was advanced by his divine detective technique. Ask for flowers. That is directly the Genesis class main naval gun. At that time, I don't know how much the damage will increase. If the two 406mm main naval guns are installed. Plus the Genesis class Mk73-203mm naval gun. He can immediately bind his S-level must-hit talent skill. In the future, you will no longer have to worry about the problem of accuracy in battle. It's worthy of killing treasure chests. As long as you are lucky, you can generally get satisfactory warship equipment. I thought happily in my heart. Immediately afterwards, he turned his gaze to the creation-level treasure chest that was bursting with colorful light. This is what countless God-chosen people dream of. But the super baby who doesn't even know what he looks like in his whole life. The things that come out of it are absolutely precious and invaluable treasures. Skill upgrade voucher for Nangongla directly upgrading talent to SSS level is opened from this kind of creation level treasure chest. With excitement, Qin Tian slowly came to the creation level treasure chest. It's about to start. God Qin is going to create a world-class treasure chest. Excited, I hope God Qin can open it. I'll go. I don't know what treasure to ask God Qin to open. I really am a piece of trash with little knowledge. With supplies of hundreds of millions of units each, Qin Shen can immediately upgrade the battleship into a large battleship. Superficial. With God Qin's ability to collect money, resources will be available sooner or later. It is definitely the most cost-effective to open top-level battleships and armaments. Just when countless people were arguing endlessly in the live broadcast room. On the deck, Qin Tian had already grabbed the lid and opened the creation-level treasure chest. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining the modification of the Genesis-class aircraft carrier Nemesis. ? Looking at the lonely drawing in his hand. Qin Tian was completely dumbfounded. Head full of black question marks. What's the situation? Gone. Just such a drawing. Please, you are a creation-level treasure chest. Is it really good to just come up with such a drawing? Qin Tian wants to cry but has no tears. Same. The audience in the live broadcast room were all dumbfounded. Such a blueprint was actually opened in a creation-level treasure chest. Isn't this too shabby? Or is there something special about this drawing? After all, it was the only thing that was opened from the creation-level treasure chest. That should be absolutely unusual. Qin Tian has the same thought with them. So make a move. He picked up the blueprint in his hand and observed it carefully. 47%. Chapter 236 Genesis Class 406 Megameters Main Naval Gun. Carefully observe the blueprint in hand. I saw a very peculiar aircraft carrier graphic painted on it. It is different from the conventional aircraft carrier where the island is built on the right side. The blueprint of the aircraft carrier named Nemesis in his hand. The design of the ship island is in the middle. Then 2 standard flight decks were designed on the front and rear sides respectively. There are 2 takeoff runways above each. The entire aircraft carrier is huge. On the deck close to the ship island and the ship island, there are enough slots for weapons such as main guns, rocket launchers, and anti-aircraft naval guns. More slots for naval guns are reserved on the platform below the deck. This opened Qin Tian's horizons a bit. His mouth almost opened uncontrollably. Is this an aircraft carrier or a battleship? If you really come up with such an aircraft carrier. Not to mention that the number of carrier-based aircraft carried by this, 930, aircraft carrier can almost match the sum of the other 2 aircraft carriers. The power of its own naval guns alone may be equivalent to a battleship. So, this is a battleship aircraft carrier. Immediately afterwards, Qin Tian carefully studied the meaning of the word, change, at the back of the drawing. After reading it for a long time, I finally understood it. Meaning when he was breaking the battleship out of the aircraft carrier. If this drawing is used, then the aircraft carrier he broke through is the aircraft carrier named Nemesis on the blueprint. And when remodeling, you will also get the unique title of Legendary Battleship. And get 2 legendary Y-35 fighter jets for free. Hiss. After figuring out the purpose of this drawing, Qin Tian's eyes straightened immediately. After working for a long time, this blueprint was actually used to modify his own battleship. That's pretty good. Just look at this drawing. But after using it, he can not only transform his aircraft carrier into a double-deck super aircraft carrier like the Nemesis. You can also unlock the unique title of Legendary Battleship. And has 2 legendary Y-35 fighter jets. Say nothing else. Just these 2 legendary Y-35 fighter jets as a generous reward. At that time, Rui, who searched and rescued by himself, will also come in handy. Carefully put away the blueprint of creation-level Nemesis change close to your body. Qin Tian immediately set his sights on the crude oil on the deck. He first came to the gas turbine room below the deck. 6,000 barrels of crude oil were directly added to it. With these 6,000 barrels of crude oil, his battleship can run for at least 20 days. Although the number of material barrels has increased significantly now. But the chances of getting food, water, and crude oil are greatly reduced. So Qin Tian doesn't plan to sell these crude oil anymore. After 6,000 crude oil is used up, he directly put the remaining 4,000 barrels of crude oil into 3 cabins. After finishing these, he was back on deck again. Then he set his sights on the huge naval gun with 3 sea cannon barrels. Use divine detective technique to directly start the investigation. Item: Legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun. Quality: Orange, Ix, 765. Effective range: 42,000 meters. Durability: 7,000. Effective rate of fire: 2 rounds per minute. Requirement: every 500 units of high-quality metal pieces consumed can fire 1 shot. Normal enhancement: low-quality plastic 3,000, low-quality metal sheet 4,000, low-quality nail 3,000, strengthening can increase 20 attack. High-quality goods enhancement: ordinary plastic 4,000, ordinary metal sheet 5,000, ordinary nail 5,000, strengthening can increase attack power by 60. Advanced reinforcement: 5,000 high-quality plastic, 7,000 high-quality metal sheet, 6,000 high-quality nail, strengthening can increase 110 attack can be strengthened. After reading the attribute panel of the legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun, the corner of Qin Tian's mouth pulled back in a big arc unconsciously. The attack power of the original 765. After advanced enhancement, it directly rises to 875. If 3 barrels are fired in salvo, it can also deal 2,625 damage. This damage is 4 to 500 less than the Genesis class Mk 73-203mm naval gun. Suddenly he remembered the blueprint of the legendary triple Mk 406mm main naval gun. After looking around for those supplies, Qin Tian's heart tightened. Did not find. What's happening here? Could it be that he was blown away by the wind when he went down to the cabin to get crude oil? He quickly searched around the naval gun again. Finally, the blueprint of the naval gun rolled in a circle was found in the barrel in the middle. Qin Tian let out a long breath. Then he looked at the blueprint of the naval gun with the divine detective technique with great anticipation. He has made up his mind. No matter what, he had to upgrade this main naval gun to the Genesis level. Item: Blueprint of the legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun. Quality: Orange. Production requirements: low-quality plastic 5,000, low-quality metal sheet 6,000, low-quality nails 8,000, see animal teeth 100. Efficacy: it can be used to make the orange legendary triple-mounted Mk 406mm large-caliber main naval gun, which can fire MKP armor-killing shells. Quality advancement: ordinary plastic 10,000, ordinary metal sheet 8,000, ordinary nails 10,000, top quality sea beast teeth 100, can be advanced to a red mythical triple-mounted Mk 406mm large-caliber main naval gun. Advanced advancement: 30,000 high-quality plastics, 15,000 high-quality metal sheets, 20,000 high-quality nails, 200 top-quality sea animal teeth, which can be advanced to colorful creation-level triple-mounted Mk 406mm large-caliber main naval gun advanced. Look at the advanced displayed behind advanced on the drawing. Qin Tian took the blueprint and immediately walked to the front of the bow of the main ship's high gun platform. Then the green quality 406mm main naval gun that the battleship gave away for nothing when it broke through was unloaded. Then he picked up the blueprint in his hand. I chose advanceable without any hesitation at 3.7. Anyway, he has a lot of supplies now. If we don't exchange these supplies for combat power, do we still have to keep them for the new year? After all, in 2 or 3 days, he will go to copy the lair of a rich capitalist. Of course, the more terrifying the combat power, the better. The manufacture of the Genesis-class triple-mounted Mk 406mm large-caliber main naval gun requires 30,000 high-quality plastics, 15,000 high-quality metal sheets, 20,000 high-quality nails, and 200 top-quality sea beast teeth. Do you want to manufacture them? Manufacture, Qin Tian said with some expectation in his heart. With the disappearance of drawings. Soon, a silver-gray naval gun with 3 super sea cannon tubes protruding from the front appeared on the high platform of the main naval gun. Mighty, domineering. This is Qin Tian's most intuitive feeling when looking at this main naval gun. 47%. Chapter 237 Qin Tian, I'm going to order you. Cecily spills the secret. Qin Tian looked at the cannon barrel above his head whose diameter was almost as thick as his own body. With a thought, he used the detective technique to inspect the 406mm main naval gun in front of him. Item: Genesis-class triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun. Quality: colorful. Ix. 3813. Effective range: 42,000 meters. Durability: 12,000. Effective rate of fire: 2 rounds per minute. Requirement: for every 500 units of high-quality metal pieces consumed, 1 round of Mk9 armor-piercing projectile can be launched. Note: Mk9 armor-piercing projectile will add 10% penetration damage. When Qin Tian saw the damage value of more than 3,800, a bright smile suddenly appeared on his face. That's right. This is what a battleship main gun should look like. 1 shell has more than 3,800 damage values. 3 volleys is more than 11,400 damage points. Plus 10% of the penetrating damage of armor-piercing rounds. It directly reached more than 12,500 damage. At that time, I will bind the 3 large-caliber naval guns to the must-hit talent. How terrible would it be to use 3 consecutive shots? Directly more than 20,000 to nearly 30,000 injuries. A battleship with a slightly lower blood volume will directly lose blood. Thinking about that image made him excited. So he quickly removed another green-quality main naval gun. Then the orange-quality triple-mounted Mk 6406 main naval gun was installed. And consumable materials have been strengthened. After finishing these, he opened the attack bar of his battleship and took a look. It can be seen that the damage has increased by a large amount. From the original 46117-50403 to the current 59361-63647. Just this hurt. He didn't believe that there were a few battleships that could survive a round of his ravages without dying. Really, the World of Warships event ranking is the only way to quickly improve yourself. I thought happily in my heart. Qin Tian planned to use his S-rank must-hit talent to bind 3 large-caliber naval guns. It's just that when he thought about it, he was ready to start. There was a sudden movement in his heart. Isn't it too early to bundle up now? There are still 2 or 3 days to arrive at the island of the capital tycoon. Maybe he got lucky in 2 or 3 days. Can another high-quality 406mm naval gun be built? So after hesitating for a while, Qin Tian decided to wait 2 days before talking. So he moved the disassembled 2 green-quality main naval guns to the warehouse. These replaced naval guns may be used in the warships manufactured from the shipyard in the future. So put it away first. Dee. And just when Qin Tian came out from the warehouse curry, the voice of a private message reminder suddenly sounded in his mind. Open it and have a look. It turned out to be from that girl Cecily. Qin, I have gathered 3 teammates. You promised that you will join my Eden fleet when I gather 10 teammates. Qin Tian looked at this message. Can't help but shook his head and smiled lightly. It took so long to gather 3 teammates. I don't know if this girl's requirements are too high, or there are too few strong people with the same ideas as her. But these are all indifferent to Qin Tian. Anyway, in the end, this girl couldn't get the 10 people together. So he directly replied to the other party. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. As long as you can gather 10 people, I will join your fleet. HMPH, Qin, just wait, I'm going to make a decision on you. Qin Tian was speechless when he saw this message. This girl can't even send a message properly. Fortunately, the will of the planet has been revised. Let the people watching the live broadcast room not see the chat content. Otherwise, Mu Ningxie saw this sentence. Then after he came in, he couldn't give him a one-night PK lesson. Hiss. That scene was scary just thinking about it. By the way, Qin, you should know that each of the 7 families sent 1,000 destroyers to attack the 5 islands of Yanlong this time, right? Qin Tian saw that the other party suddenly changed the subject and chatted about this matter. Immediately, he replied with raised eyebrows. I know, what's the matter? Nothing, I just feel that these guys are really selfish and narrow-minded, so I want to help you. Cecily sent such a message and said. Opening square bracket ? Closing square bracket. Qin Tian was a little surprised. I don't know what this girl is going to do. Yes, today's big capitalists have gone completely crazy under the corruption of money. They no longer care about the safety of this world, and no longer care about the life and death of people outside. For them, what is the benefit of their own interests compared with the interests of their families? All are important. Whoever hinders them from making money is the enemy of all mankind. This kind of thinking is really terrible. They completely ignored the will of the planet's worries about the Zarare people, and they just thought arrogantly that as long as they can master absolute power, they can deal with all troubles. I really can't understand this. I don't want me and my family to ruin their lives because of their stupidity. So, I have to find someone who has absolute strength and can hold down all the capitalists to re-establish a red line for this world of warships, so as to ensure that this world still has the most basic morals and laws, instead of letting these wealthy capitalists do whatever they want to destroy generations of God's chosen. Cecily sent 4 messages in a row. It could be seen that the other party was indeed a little excited. After reading this information, Qin Tian couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This girl is indeed different. Maybe she has her own agenda. It's not just that she doesn't want herself and her family to die aggrieved under the invasion of the Zarare army. But anyway, I can think of those ordinary people outside who have been squeezed by capital for a lifetime. After all, they have a conscience compared to those big capitalists. Although Qin Tian does not trust the other party 100%. But this does not prevent him from cooperating with each other. So, Qin Tian directly sent a message to ask. I have to say, what you girls said touched me, so as a cooperation, I want to know, how do you plan to help me? The other party will return the message soon. Don't flatter me, I just want to live in peace and stability with my family. As for cooperation, it's very simple. I observed your battle carefully when attacking the world boss, and I have a certain understanding of your strength. I think you are fully capable of going to their 7 family islands when their power is empty. The message from Cecily made Qin Tian stunned for a moment. Isn't that what he's about to do right now? Without waiting for his answer, the other party continued to advise him. Don't think that those big capitalists are so powerful. In fact, 1,000 destroyers are already considered a bone-scaring force for them. Most of them that can guard their islands are gunboats and frigates. At most, a few more 10 cruisers and 2 or 3 battleships. But I don't think these are any problems for your battleship. Most of the supplies of those capitalists are hidden in the battleships stationed on the edge of the island and the curry on the island. If you are able to overturn their battleships, or when their battleships can't bear it and simply choose to break through into an aircraft carrier to deal with you, then you can take advantage of the time period when the opponent is upgrading to attack those small but scattered islands on the island. There are exactly the same buildings around the island, because there is a high probability that they are their warehouses. When seeing this message, Qin Tian's eyes lit up immediately. 083 This information is very useful. It can be said that he pointed out a plan. Tell him where those big capitalists usually hide their supplies. Okay, I have written all these down. I have to say that this revision makes the people in the live broadcast room unable to see the information we sent. Otherwise, you will be sanctioned by those big capitalists. Qin Tian replied to the other party and said, Haha, what's the matter? As long as I want to say it, I can talk to you after 10 p.m., after their live broadcast room is closed. Anyway, they won't suspect me in the end. Qin Tian, 1-inch 1. See each other's information. He couldn't help but a little bit dumbfounded. This is exactly what it looks like. Well, I told you about the material distribution of those big capital families, then I will send you the island coordinates of these 7 big capital families, and you can see which one is closest to you. Hurry up to plunder the last wave in these 2 days. Let me tell you, if you can plunder the islands of a large capitalist family, not to mention breaking through the aircraft carrier, after all you can only get half of it, and the other half has to be wasted, but at least it will be no problem to upgrade to a large battleship. 4x. Cecily quickly sent him 7 coordinates. When you break through into a large battleship, after a while, you can try to compete with those big capitalists for the ownership of the God-level treasure island. When I saw that the other party even planned to tell him this, Qin Tian couldn't help being a little dazed. Could this girl have drunk too much fake wine? Otherwise, I'm going to tell him everything today. The dozen or so big capitalist families in the Eurasian Federation have covered this matter so tightly, they must have put in a lot of effort. But now it is obvious that he is going to spy on the secret inside. Think here. Qin Tian is not polite either. Immediately pretending to be ignorant, he asked. God-level treasure island. What is that? 47%. Chapter 238 Control the speed and bombard the island tomorrow. Facing Qin Tian's problem, Cecily replied quickly. I'm not very clear about the specific situation. It seems that the Lot family discovered this secret, and then felt that they couldn't eat a dozen islands, so they traded the information of the God-level treasure island to the other big families. Of course these are not important. The important thing is that after you upgrade the battleship to a large scale, save enough materials to break through the aircraft carrier, and then break through the NPC forces stationed on the God-level treasure island, then you can occupy the island, and in the center of the island, find a set of items designed to strengthen battleship decks, turrets, bridges, masts, and more. After you use these items to upgrade the corresponding parts of your battleship, then you break through the aircraft carrier, and your aircraft carrier can instantly obtain double the attributes of the battleship. 1. Seeing that the other party was very different from what Zhang Zongjun said at the time, Qin Tian thanked the other party. Anyway, the other party is willing to reveal to him so many secrets of the capitalists. It's already quite interesting. However, Qin, you don't need to worry. It will take several months before the opening of those God-level treasure islands, and you will be notified. Suddenly Cecily sent him another message. This made Qin Tian suddenly stunned. He originally wondered why the battleship clan members trained by the rich capital didn't go directly to make a breakthrough. After a long time, it turned out that those islands hadn't been opened yet. After chatting with the other party for a few more words, Qin Tian just ended the chat. Afternoon. Qin Tian was holding a rope hook on the deck, while Li Yao, Zhang Zhengyi, and Yan Bin were hooking material barrels in Jiaorui. After hooking more than a dozen times, I finally hooked another one. Rui looked at Qin Tian speechlessly and said, Captain, what kind of skill do you have? Why do you hook every hook accurately, and I can only hook one after half a day? Ray said he couldn't understand. Anyway, he is also an ace mechanic of the technical stream. The hook is actually not as accurate as Qin Tian. This made him, the proud son of the Chengxing Empire and the ace mechanic, feel for the first time that he was inferior to others. And Li Yao kept trying again and again with the rope hook not far away. The pretty and delicate face is full of unyielding spirit. Of the three, she has the fewest material barrels in her hook. As for Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin on her left, forget it, she has completely given up on both of them. Haha, practice more, practice more. Doubts about Ray. Qin Tian grinned and said foolishly at the other party. It's all free labor. After training these people out. In the future, if there is nothing to do, let them hook the material barrels together. Isn't that better than doing nothing on a boat? And then this whole afternoon. Just as several people hooked the materials in the wooden barrels, they passed away quickly. Wait until evening after dinner. After 8 o'clock. Qin Tian immediately came to the control room of the shipbuilding. He said to Wei Chen, "Ah Chen, check these 3 coordinates to see if there is one not far from us." Qin Tian told the other party the other 3 coordinates given by Cecily. Yes, Captain. Wei Chen took the order and immediately started to operate. The answer was quickly given. Captain, these 3 are farther away, and they are all more than 10 days away from us. Qin Tian sighed in disappointment upon hearing this. Said, then write down these coordinates, maybe we will need them sometime. After giving Wei Chen the order, Qin Tian immediately left the control room. The next 2 days, everything is calm. The only difference is, Rui and Li Yao obviously became addicted to hooking material barrels. As long as the weather is not hot, the two would run over and pull Qin Tian to the deck to compete. In this regard, Qin Tian naturally does not refuse anyone who comes. Anyway, idle is idle. Didi. This evening. Before Qin Tian was about to eat, he suddenly received a private message from Zhang Zongjun. The general meaning is that the Little Devil's fleet suddenly appeared near Yuang Island at noon today along with 2 destroyer fleets from wealthy capitalists. Obviously this is an idea to have fun with Nangong Lengli. Just to be on the safe side, Zhang Zongjun has ordered the 2 to lead the team to retreat to Yaoguang Island. Now I just don't know if the destroyer fleet of those big capitalists will launch an attack on other islands after joining the fleet of Miyayoshi Hidenobu. After Qin Tian saw the message sent by the other party, my heart is also very angry. The means of these big capitalists are so fked up. Don't dare to fight him one-on-one. Then they set up such a joint fleet to attack Yanlong Wudao to disgust him. But now it doesn't matter. If it was just a cruiser before. He has no confidence to deal with these islands. But now it's a battleship. And also know the location of the family islands of these 7 capital families. So how do you decide what to do with them next? And at this moment, in the sea hundreds of kilometers away from Yuang Island, the heads of the 2 capital fleets that merged with Miyayoshi Hidenobu's Sakura fleet were standing on the decks of their respective cruisers and chatting. Fake. I really don't know how that Qin Tian did it, he has already upgraded to a battleship. You said, is this step really right? That Yanlong was able to defeat a battleship when he was a destroyer, and now it only took 3 months to upgrade to a battleship. You should also have the firepower to fight the world boss before. See, what do I think now? I feel that it is an unwise choice for a family to turn against each other. Hey, what do we think is useful? We are just executors, and only the decision makers above can answer this kind of question. Actually, I'm also very uneasy. I heard that Qin Tian is not in the waters of Yanlong 5 Islands now. You said he won't sneak attack the islands of our families after he knows it. Are you kidding? The location of our family's island is the most secretive. Even the people in the live broadcast room don't know about it. How could he, a God's chosen who has just come in for 3 months, know? Oh, I hope so. I'm going to eat, let's chat. The 4 of them immediately left with worried faces, full of thoughts. And what they don't know is, after the live broadcast room closes at 8 p.m., Wei Chen called Qin Tian into the control room. Captain, we will arrive at our destination at about 3 o'clock in the morning, what do we need to do then? Wei Chen, Yao Lang, Qian Zhao, Ma Fei and others looked at Qin Tian and asked curiously. Qin Tian pondered for a while when he heard the words, and said, control the speed, we may need to bombard the enemy's islands, so we need to fight during the day, it is best to start the battle at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, Captain, then we know what to do. Yao Lang patted his chest immediately when he heard the words and said confidently. Controlling such a battleship with strong firepower and amazing defense. They can't wait to taste the fear of the enemy. Qin Tian nodded. After leaving a sentence, pay attention to rest at night. Then I left the control room and went to the various ammunition bays in the cabin to replenish ammunition. especially the mythical 50-tube 122mm rocket launcher proposal. Qin Tian installed the legendary universal autoloader opened from the killing treasure chest on another rocket launcher. This greatly increases the saturation strike capability of the two rocket launchers. At that time, it will be very efficient for cleaning up those gunboats and frigates. 47%. Chapter 239 Shocked. You must hit 3 times in a row, and kill the battle cruiser in seconds. After finishing the ammo, Qin Tian thought about it. He came to the deck again and directly activated his innate skill must hit. Start binding the 3 naval guns. This skill can only be bound to 3 battleship guns at present. Is it possible to bind the Genesis level triple mounted Mk 406mm main gun, the legendary level triple mounted Mk 406mm main gun, and the common level 406mm dual main gun? Qin Tian took a long breath and chose to bind. In the past 2 days, he has been paying attention to the trading market, the treasure chests on the sea, and the movements of the king-level sea beasts. I just want to see if I can get another high-quality 406mm large-caliber main naval gun within 2 days. But 2 days passed, but didn't even see a shadow. And he is going to attack the family island of the capitalist family tomorrow. So there is no way. Qin Tian could only make do with binding the main guns of these 3 warships. The reason why the Genesis class Mk-73-203mm naval gun is no longer selected for binding. It was because Qin Tian carefully evaluated the rate of fire of these warships' armaments before. The Genesis class Mk-73-203mm naval gun was originally able to fire 12 rounds per minute. And the damage of each shot is 3,158. Even when attacking, some of them may miss. But it's no problem to hit 453 with about 20,000 damage per minute. If it is bound together, then only 3 rounds can be fired in 1 minute. Let it originally hit 20,000 to 30,000 damage per minute, and it directly became more than 9,400. It can be said to be a blood loss. Anyway, he has a Genesis class triple-mounted Mk 406mm main naval gun with a shell damage of up to 3,813 to dominate. The 3-barreled salvo of this main naval gun alone can deal more than 10,000 damage. If you use must hit 3 times in a row, it will cause more than 34,000 damage. Plus 2 other main naval guns. It's no problem to deal more than 40,000 damage in a wave. At this stage, a wave that can deal more than 40,000 damage is considered a magical skill. So Qin Tian had nothing to be disappointed about. Bind decisively, and with his determination, the prompt sound of the will of the planet also rang. Congratulations to the chosen one for successfully binding. After using the must-hit skill on the 3 naval guns, the cooldown of the must-hit skill will be extended to 1 minute. Hear the cue. Qin Tian nodded in satisfaction. 3 main guns can fire 24 rounds of sure-fire shells in 1 minute. No matter what, it is better than the 3 main guns, which fire 16 rounds of accurate shells a minute, which is not very accurate. 6 o'clock the next morning. Qin Tian opened his eyes on time. After seeing the time on the clock, he immediately got up and took a shower. Then I didn't even bother to eat. Came directly to the control room in the shipbuilding. Morning, Captain. Saw him come in. Wei Chen, Yao Lang, Ma Fei and others all greeted him with great vigor. Qin Tian nodded, seeing that they are so energetic, and seeing that there are 3 faces missing in the control room. Immediately asked. Zula and the 3 of them were on the night shift yesterday. Yao Lang said with a smile. It happened to be their turn to be on duty last night. I went back to catch up on sleep just now. They said they would come up at 7 o'clock to participate in this foreign war. Qin Tian shook his head and laughed a little. Then he looked at Yao Lang and asked, Lang, how far are we from each other? Yao Lang replied directly, Captain, we are still 33 nautical miles away from the other party's island, and the other party has already discovered the traces of our warships, and they are constantly activating the warships docked by the island, forming a vanguard fleet to attack us. Intercepted. Qin Tian snorted disdainfully upon hearing this. A bunch of gunboats and frigates. What if there are more? It's just that before that, he needs to find out which family the island belongs to. Give me a radar zoom on their warships and let me see which empire they belong to. It's long. Yao Lang immediately complied when he heard the words. Soon a battle cruiser appeared on the big screen. There are many naval guns above, and several rocket launchers are installed on the side of the deck. Although Qin Tian cannot be identified on the hull. But the appearance of the white sailors on the deck showed the identity of the other party. He is definitely the chosen one of the Eurasian Federation. As for which big capitalist family, then this is beyond what Qin Tian can know. Cecily probably didn't want Qin Tian to know too much, in order not to reveal any flaws at that time. So when I told Qin Tian the coordinates, I didn't tell him the specific identity. But this is completely dispensable to Qin Tian, as long as it is confirmed that the other party is from the Eurasian Federation. That's enough. Who cares what his name is? Anyway, they are courting their own death, and that's it. Alang, Fei, you don't need to worry about that battle cruiser. Your task is to clear up all those trash fish that dared to shoot at us. After Qin Tian gave the order to the two, he said, "Oh, by the way, I bound the 3 main cannons on the ship to my skills, so when you operate later, if you find that the 3 main cannons are not right, you don't have to go ahead and take care of it." Clear. Hear Qin Tian's words. Yao Lang and Ma Fei immediately waited attentively in front of the center console. And at this time, the chosen one on the opponent's battlecruiser looked at the image of the battleship on the big screen. His body was as white as chaff, and his face was as white as paper. Damn it. Why did this Qin Tian come to us? Fack. Who leaked the island coordinates of our Manston family? Bert Manston was furious at the moment, although he is now scared to death. But in order to inspire the bloodiness of thousands of gunboats and frigates behind them, he had to put his battle cruiser at the forefront. Because only in this way can he retreat back to the family island after motivating the thousands of cannon fodder behind him to fight to the death. Then wait for his elder brother Heller to successfully break through the battleship into an aircraft carrier. Then lead them to sink this hateful Yanlong in the waters of their Manston Island. Have to say, his little calculation here is called a good one. But the reality is often very cruel. Over time, the distance between the warships of the two sides is getting closer and closer. In the control room, sitting on the bridge, Qin Tian said to Yao Lang in front of the center console and said to Ma Fei, "Get ready, when the opponent's warship enters the range of 30,000 meters, it will fire directly." Yes, hear Qin Tian's words. Yao Lang and Ma Fei immediately activated the fire control system. Always be ready to fire. Boom boom boom. Just when the distance between the two sides entered the range of 30,000 meters, Qin Tian was the first to use his must-hit talent to launch an attack. The 3 main ship guns fired 24 shells successively. All the bang 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 hit Bert Manston's battlecruiser with incomparable precision. Instantly, battlecruiser, who originally had a blood volume of over 30,000, didn't even have time to turn over a wave. It was directly bombarded by a round of naval guns, and the entire blood vessel was emptied. Bert Manston hadn't had time to react. The whole person was buried in the violent explosion. Boom boom boom. One after another, flames began to bloom continuously on the opponent's hull. Soon the entire battle cruiser became dilapidated and began to sink slowly. Bert Manston would never have dreamed of it. He is a battlecruiser that can run amok in the world of warships. He didn't even see Qin Tian's face. He was sent away by the opponent directly. 48%. Chapter 240 World of Warships First Aircraft Carrier, Fight to the Death. A wave of naval guns knocked out a battlecruiser and exploded. This moment, don't talk about the frigates and gunboats on the opposite side. Even Rui and Li Yao, who were observing the surrounding enemy situation on the deck, as well as Yao Ming and Wei Chen in the control room, they couldn't help being stunned. Just give it a second. My God, that's a battlecruiser anyway. Although it is a battlecruiser that sacrificed blood volume and defense in exchange for speed and firepower. But at least 20,000 blood volume is there, right? And as a core member of the capitalist family, there must be plenty of good things to use. Maybe the blood volume has already exceeded 30,000. But now, was it just killed by a wave? Yao Ming and the others' mouths all opened into an O shape. Hey, wake up, Tian is alive. And at this moment, Qin Tian sat on the bridge and patted the handrail lightly, then looked at the few people and said with a smile, "Ah Chen, don't worry about anything else, just drive the battleship to the opposite island for me directly. Alang, Fei, your task is to clear all the surrounding warships as much as possible." Yes, hear Qin Tian's voice. Yao Lang, Wei Chen and the others just woke up like a dream. Then he started to operate quickly with excitement on his face. The ability of my own captain is really too violent. But they love it. Soon, Qin Tian's battleship began to sail towards the opponent's island at full speed with full firepower. Countless rockets and naval guns continued to scatter towards the surrounding enemy ships as if they didn't need money. One after another frigates and gunboats began to explode on the sea, slowly sinking into the cold and ruthless sea with endless flames. Now, in the waters around Manston Island, Heller stood on the battleship shrouded in golden light and secretly lost his temper. Why did this damned Yanlong come to their Manston Island? This mess completely disrupted his plan, just because of Qin Tian's sudden arrival. As a result, he had to abandon the double-attribute aircraft carrier plan a few months later. You can only use massive supplies to let your battleships quickly break through to the aircraft carrier series in advance. Because he clearly knew how terrible Qin Tian was. In addition, there is a lack of thousands of destroyers on Manston Island that can protect him and provide him with a safe export environment. This made him have no choice but to choose the battleship to break through the aircraft carrier. After all, people only have hope if they are alive. If he doesn't break through, then there is a high probability that it will be given by the other party today. After all, too many battleships died in Qin Tian's hands. With his strength, he didn't think there was anything he could withstand Qin Tian's artillery damage. That's much more powerful fire damage than Reese Duke. At the same time, the reason why he upgraded the aircraft carrier so simply. It is because he has a legendary fighter that was opened from the treasure chest in his hand. With this legendary fighter blueprint, maybe it can bring him unexpected surprises. While thinking, Hailey Manston was still secretly praying in his heart that his brother could buy him more time. Because he felt that it was almost time for the battleship to upgrade. In the morning when he learned that Qin Tian's battleship was actually sailing towards their island. At that time, he decisively broke through his battleship. It's been over an hour, boss. And at this moment, suddenly the door to the control room opened. Then a young man with blonde hair and blue eyes quickly ran out from inside. And kept waving at him with a flustered face. Joel, what are you doing? What's the fuss about? Heller asked, frowning. Old boss, it's not good, Bert. The young man named Joel hesitated and didn't know what to say. My brother. What happened to my brother? Seeing the other party talking hesitantly, his eyes flickered. An ominous premonition suddenly appeared in Heller's heart. Then he grabbed Joel's shoulder and asked loudly. Boss, the news came back from the front, saying that Bert's battlecruiser was hit by Qin Tian's naval gun, causing a martyrdom effect and sinking. What? Heller's eyes widened immediately. How can this be? He is totally unacceptable. What is it that a round of naval guns hit his brother's battleship with a martyrdom effect? He naturally knows the blood volume of his younger brother battlecruiser. Although it is not as good as those powerful battleships with 30,780 to 40,000 HP. But because of the reinforced deck and equipped with some figures and other good things. The blood volume is also thousands of blood higher than that of a normal battlecruiser. How could it be possible to be martyred by Qin Tian's naval gun? It's true, boss. I was also skeptical at first, but after I asked a few more brothers, they all said the same. Ask for flowers. Fact. Hear this sentence. Heller's expression suddenly became extremely ferocious. Call me all the warships, I want to fight that Qin Tian to the death. And at this moment, the golden light enveloping the battleship under his feet suddenly swelled extremely rapidly, and it was raised a lot. Then wait until the golden light dims. He saw that his original battleship of more than 230 meters had turned into an extremely huge aircraft carrier. The size of the deck is estimated to be at least 300 meters. Congratulations on becoming the first chosen person in World of Warships to upgrade a battleship into an aircraft carrier. The unique title, Aircraft Carrier Pioneer, will be rewarded. Unlocking this title will give you 3 advanced Harrier fighters. Heller heard the beep of the will of the planet. A gleam flashed in his eyes immediately. 0. Then he opened the title panel without saying a word and unlocked the title of Carrier Pioneer. Immediately afterwards, 3 brand new Harrier fighters appeared on the deck. That's not all. He took out the legendary fighter blueprint from his pocket again. Consumables are manufactured. Soon beside the 3 advanced Harrier fighters, 2 F-14 fighters with more refined and streamlined appearance appeared. Joel, go and find some pilots with good flying skills for me, and tell all the chosen ones to sail to my place to gather. We must fight that Qin Tian to the death today. Yes, boss, although a little worried, but after seeing the aircraft carrier under his feet and the 5 fighter jets on the deck, Joel still hurried to inform. Soon, another battleship with more than 30 cruisers, 100 destroyers, hundreds of frigates, and gunboats gathered next to Heller's aircraft carrier. Originally, when they learned that Qin Tian from the Yanlong Empire was calling, they were still terrified. Some even sent this matter to the World Chat channel to ask for help. But now I see that my commander-in-chief has actually broken through the battleship into an aircraft carrier. Many God-chosen members of the Manston family immediately cheered excitedly. In their view, no matter how awesome a battleship is, it will not be able to defeat the fighter jets of an aircraft carrier. And they don't know the secret of the double attribute aircraft carrier. It has always been thought that it is difficult for a battleship to break through an aircraft carrier. Now I saw that my young and promising commander-in-chief was the first to upgrade a battleship to an aircraft carrier. That pride and self-confidence naturally arises spontaneously, and it immediately exploded. Spontaneously, and it immediately exploded. Spontaneously,